I have been grinding this cultivation game for 10 years straight. I am the #1 player on the global leaderboard. With a cultivation base of 1 billion years, I am the supreme emperor. Above all, beneath none. I have got every god-tier artifact and weapon you could imagine. But in the end, it was all just a game. At this moment, I stared at the final screen. A wave of melancholy washing over me as the notification popped up. The servers will shut down in 10 minutes. Please enjoy your final moments. 10 years of playing, and it is finally coming to an end. 10 minutes left. I guess it is time for me to say my final goodbyes to you all. I opened my friends list in the game. Looking at the grayed out avatars, not a single one was online. The last one to log in was 5 years ago. It was my in-game DAO companion, Shui Xianzi. I wonder how she is doing now. Goodbye, Shui Xianzi. I sent her a message. Even though I knew she would not see it, I still wanted to say goodbye. Staring at the empty game interface, a sense of loneliness welled up in my heart. The game that kept me company for 10 years is just shutting down like this. It is hard to let go. I started playing in my freshman year, and now I am almost graduating from university. From having nothing to having everything. Now, it is all time to say goodbye. Time flew by, and the final minute arrived. I clicked on the world channel, looking at the empty void, and typed on my keyboard, "Goodbye, Cultivation Life. You were the best game I have ever played. Goodbye, everyone. May we meet again if fate allows. Hey, buddy. Are you going to eat?" My roommate Luo Dao walked in holding a basketball, sweating profusely. "Since you are asking, let us go." I locked my phone screen and followed Luo Dao out of the dorm. But what I did not know was, a prompt appeared on my game interface again. Server shutdown. In 30 minutes, the game will manifest into reality. After eating, we both walked back to the dorm, chatting and laughing. Just as we lay down, we heard thunder rolling outside, and dark clouds gathered. Holy crap, is it the apocalypse? Luo Dao stared out the window, shocked. I went to the balcony and looked at the sky, filled with dark clouds and lightning. It really felt like the end of the world. I quickly grabbed the clothes from the balcony. I lay back on my bed, ready to play some mobile games. But just then, a voice echoed in his mind. Guasha game, Cultivation Life. Manifestation in 60 seconds. Luo Dao jumped up from his bed, looking around in panic. Did you hear that too? I looked at Luo Dao in surprise. So everyone could hear it. I also heard something about a game manifesting, called Cultivation Life. What kind of game is this? Luo Dao was stunned. I reacted instantly and quickly grabbed my phone. I swiped through the screen, looking for that familiar game app. No matter how frantically I tapped, there was no response. Is this game really going to manifest? What does manifest even mean? Does it mean everything in the game will come to life? And just then, the voice echoed in everyone's mind again. 60 seconds passed. Manifestation begins. First manifestation, cultivation base. In an instant, the sky changed dramatically. Beams of golden light descended from the heavens. There were so many beams, it was impossible to tell who they were hitting. It was as if it started raining gold. My whole body was enveloped in golden light. I felt a powerful and majestic force surging through my body. My entire body was filled with power. Supreme Emperor cultivation base manifestation complete. Please use your power with caution. At the same time, a flood of memories that did not belong to me rushed into my mind. Transcending mortality to become an immortal, my path to Tao. You were immortal, but through unremitting effort, you finally became the Supreme Emperor. Your cultivation base is at the peak, and so is your power. Scenes from the game flooded back into my mind. The bosses I crushed during my body refining stage. Surviving the tribulation to transcend mortality and reach the foundation establishment stage. The first time I became Dao companions with Shui Xianzi. Then rising through the ranks to finally crush those top-tier players. 1 billion years of memories from the game surged into my brain. It felt as if I had lived through it all myself. In a short time, I had fully grasped my own cultivation. I finally understood the extent of the power I possessed. If I wanted to, I could shatter this planet with a single thought. Meanwhile, cultivators were appearing all across the country. At a prison in Chengdu, a death row inmate in shackles and handcuffs was quietly waiting for his execution. His name is Wang Guzheng, a mass murderer, who wiped out an entire family of 7. He was caught just a few days ago after 10 years on the run. He finally fell into the net. But just then, a golden light descended, enveloping his entire body. In an instant, he was filled with immense power. Flashes of memory flooded his mind. Wang Guzheng was stunned, then overjoyed. He never imagined that the game he played while on the run would actually become reality. Ha ha ha. I have actually reached the quasi-saint level. I am invincible. I am truly invincible. The next second, he instantly shattered his handcuffs and leg irons. With one punch, he blew a hole through the prison wall. He walked out in broad daylight. Xiao Yao Tianzun, you ruined my cultivation. I will definitely find you. In the memories he just received, he realized that when he was not in the game, a guy named Xiao Yao Tianzun kept challenging him, causing his cultivation to drop until he fell off the rankings, down to his current quasi-saint level. If it were not for that Xiao Yao Tianzun, his power would still be at the Saint King level, not this. Who knows how many times stronger. Don't move. The prison guards were terrified when they saw Wang Guzheng running out. Scram! Wang Guzheng roared and his pressure exploded instantly. The guards were sent flying backward, crashing into the wall and passing out. Wang Guzheng leapt up, smashing through the ceiling, and escaped the prison. No one knew where he went. Holy crap, look at that! Luo Dao suddenly shouted. I looked over. Luo Dao was holding a 40-pound dumbbell, and crushed it into powder with one hand. I am only at the body refining stage, and I am already this strong. Wouldn't those at Foundation Establishment or Golden Core be even crazier? Hearing Luo Dao's words, I could not help but chuckle. Body refining is just the most basic realm. You could say it is just the entry level of cultivation. Basically, everyone in the game starts at this stage. Only at Foundation Establishment do you truly transcend mortality. Anything below Golden Core is just immortal. Suddenly, a loud crash came from the room next door. We both rushed out to see what was happening. Holy cow, he punched a hole through the wall. Is this the power of the Foundation Establishment stage? That is way too op, right? Why did not I play that game? I want to cultivate, too. That is so awesome. I do not think I could punch through a dorm wall like that. Luo Dao looked envious, but as I watched the scene, I could not help but feel worried. Now that everyone is gaining extraordinary powers, it seems the world is about to change drastically. Just then, the school's PA system suddenly blared. This is Principal Li Chun. All students and faculty, please gather at the sports field immediately. Let us go, let us check it out. I turned to Luo Dao and said, for now, let us see what the university has to say. When we arrived at the field, quite a crowd had already gathered. The principal and the vice principal were standing on the podium, anxiously waiting for all the students to arrive. Once everyone had assembled, the principal picked up the microphone and began. I believe you have all heard that voice by now, and some of you have already gained extraordinary powers. But I urge you not to use that terrifying power recklessly. And please report your cultivation realm truthfully. We need to conduct a census. Meanwhile, at a secret base in Longdu, an old man slowly walked into the conference room. The men and women sitting inside all stood up at once. Elder Li. Everyone spoke in unison. This old man was Li Long. Is there anyone here who is a cultivator? Li Long scanned the room and asked in a deep voice. People looked at each other, and only 2 hands were raised. One man and one woman. Seeing those 2 raise their hands, the others were completely shocked. They actually had cultivators among their own ranks. They had assumed everyone was just military personnel, with no time to play games. Coincidentally, these 2 were younger officers. Can you 2 explain your cultivation realms in detail? Li Long asked sternly. I am in the Foundation Establishment stage. I started playing 9 years ago by chance, just for a few days at the time. I am in the Golden Core stage. I played for about half a month back then. The man was Golden Core, the woman was Foundation Establishment. Some people listening to these 2 realms were completely confused because they were not cultivators, and had no idea what it all meant. Then tell us about the realms and the power they correspond to. Right now, what they need most is knowledge about cultivation. The world has changed. It is no longer the peaceful era it once was. A new round of war could break out at any moment. The man nodded, and immediately shared everything he knew. When everyone heard that at the peak of body refining, one could lift 100,000 Jin boulder, that Foundation Establishment could master certain spells, and that Golden Core could even hover in mid-air with unparalleled power, they were stunned. And higher up, the power of nascent soul is comparable to a nuclear bomb. While deity transformation can destroy any nation, and tribulation transcendence has the power to destroy the world, these realms made Li Long's head spin, leaving everyone else at a total loss. When the man finished, the room fell into a dead silence, followed by an uproar. What are we supposed to do? If everyone really has this kind of power, what will happen to us? This power is too terrifying. Just playing a game for a few months grants you power comparable to a nuke. The world is going to be in chaos. We need a plan immediately, otherwise, the whole world will fall into chaos. First, we must ensure our own country stays stable. There are already many crimes happening outside, and they are all using these extraordinary powers to commit them. Suddenly, everyone fell silent and looked at Li Long. Li Long was pacing in the conference room, searching for a solution. He soon had an idea. We must establish a new department immediately. I have already thought of it. Let us call it the Cultivator Department. We will recruit cultivators from across the country. To control these cultivators, we must rely on other cultivators. First, let us see if we have any cultivators among our own people. Gather the military personnel first, then expand to the general public. And then we will have universities open schools for cultivators. A new era has arrived, the era of universal cultivation. At Chengdu University, all students and faculty have finished filling out their forms. The results of the census left the school administration stunned. Out of a total of 15,000 students and staff, over 3,000 have actually manifested cultivation and become cultivators. Seeing over 3,000 cultivators in our own school, Li Chun was so excited he could not even speak. I never imagined there were over 3,000 cultivators in our school. This is absolutely mind-blowing. I watched the expressions on everyone's faces in the stadium. Some were overjoyed, others were devastated. I could not help but feel a bit sentimental. To think that because of my own persistence, I somehow became the strongest one of all. I wonder if any of the students here know his identity. But by the time I reached the top of the leaderboard, 99% of the players had already quit the game. The world chat was completely deserted. I suppose no one remembers him anymore. I wonder if those few Dao companions of mine even remember him. Just then, the teacher in charge of the census suddenly shouted out, "Grand completion, a grand completion stage." She is also a cultivator, at the foundation establishment stage. Hearing this, everyone turned their heads. The other cultivators were even more shocked. Grand completion stage, that is an incredibly formidable existence. You would have to spend a fortune to reach that level. In the game, it gets harder and harder to level up the further you go. To reach grand completion, you would need at least half a year of non-stop playing, unless you are a whale or have a high-level player carrying you. Those students who thought they were invincible with their foundation, establishment, or golden core stages fell silent immediately. A grand completion stage is enough to wipe the floor with all of them. Who could it possibly be? Teacher Yan Yu, the teacher in charge of the census, looked at the name on the paper and exclaimed in shock. Everyone was familiar with that name. It was Yan Yu, hailed as the most beautiful teacher at Chengdu University. In an instant, all eyes were fixed on the woman with the stunning beauty. A high ponytail, a tight pencil skirt, black stockings, and high heels. Yan Yu did not panic. She just nodded without saying a word. Who would have thought that the campus's most beautiful teacher was actually a grand completion stage player? Teacher Yan Yu, please come up to the stage and say a few words. The principal hurriedly invited her. She is the only strongest cultivator in our school. Seeing the principal's respectful demeanor, the other teachers felt a mix of emotions. It seems teacher Yan Yu's status will be extraordinary from now on. Yan Yu did not refuse and walked up to the stage step by step. She took the microphone from the principal and began to speak. Now that the game has manifested into reality, everyone who played will have their cultivation manifested. But I advise everyone not to abuse this power. Do not commit crimes, and definitely do not bully ordinary people. And do not think for a second that you are the strongest, because there are people out there even stronger than you. As she said this, a memory surfaced in Yan Yu's mind. 5 years ago, when she first started playing that game, she had just graduated from university, and was playing it out of boredom while job hunting. That day, she happened to run into a helpful player. He carried her every day, and gifted her so many items. He fought monsters with her, and became her Dao companion, which allowed her to reach the grand completion stage in such a short time. Even during the time she quit the game, he would still occasionally send her equipment and items, leaving her messages until the game finally ended. He was still saying goodbye to her. But I do not know what level of cultivation that master and Dao companion of mine has reached now. She only remembered that before she quit, he was a heavenly immortal. But just as Yan Yu finished her sentence, a sudden boom echoed through the sky. Manifestation complete. The surface area of Blue Star is beginning to change. Initial update, global surface area increased tenfold. The cultivation leaderboard is now open. Those who rank will receive generous rewards. Dharma treasures will manifest in 3 days. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. The ordinary people in the stadium could not stand steady, and fell to the ground. The earthquake lasted for over 10 seconds before it stopped. I closed my eyes and used my divine sense to overlook the entire Blue Star. With my supreme great emperor cultivation, my divine sense can see beyond the universe. I was astonished to find that the entire surface area of Blue Star had increased tenfold, and in the territory of Hua Sha, thousands of unknown regions have appeared. There are oceans, forests, and deserts, all completely desolate. They appeared out of thin air, without even a single living creature. But this gives me a bad feeling. If the game is becoming reality, does that mean the monsters and NPCs will manifest too? Just then, a rhythmic sound of helicopter rotors echoed in the sky. Everyone looked up to see a military helicopter circling above them. As it landed, a man in a military uniform stepped out. He looked to be around his 30s. I am Luo Dao, a member of the Cultivator Management Department. I am also a Major General. Hearing his introduction, the teachers and students were stunned. Who here has the highest cultivation level? Luo Dao scanned the crowd. I am at the Mahayana stage. Yan Yu stepped forward and said. She could tell that the soldier before her was also a cultivator, just at a lower realm than hers. Only at the golden core stage. Hearing this, Luo Dao was shocked. To think there is a Mahayana expert here. Frightened, he quickly bowed. Greetings, Mahayana expert. In the past, he certainly would not have bowed, but things are different now. It is the era of cultivators. A Mahayana cultivator could crush him with a single finger. He dared not be reckless. Please do not be like that. We are all Washa people. Besides, you have contributed the most to Washa. Yan Yu, feeling flattered, quickly used her spiritual energy to support Luo Dao. Then I shall address you as Ms. Yan. Luo Dao still did not dare to be presumptuous. I wonder if Ms. Yan would be willing to join us. The Cultivator Management Department maintains social peace. I am willing. It is my honor to serve the country. Yan Yu nodded. That is wonderful. Let us go aside and talk in detail. Luo Dao and Yan Yu left the field. Watching the two of them leave, I used my spiritual sense to keep an eye on them. I could even hear their conversation. Ms. Yan, we plan to set up cultivation classes in every school and appoint cultivators as teachers. You happen to be a teacher at Chengdu University. I wonder if you would be willing to be the head teacher. I can. I will report your situation truthfully. Since you are at the Mahayana stage, you must have a deeper understanding of the game, right? I have not played for very long. I played for about half a year. I know a bit. The sects in this game are all NPC sects. If they manifest, these NPCs and their sects could all appear. The most powerful one is the Qingyun sect. The sect leader in the game's lore is a great Luo Golden Immortal. Even the elders are mysterious immortals or earth immortals. The other sects are also incredibly powerful, with beings below the heavenly immortal level. Hearing this, Luo Dao looked shocked. He did not know much about the game's background. He only played for a week and spent a little money back then stopped because he joined the military. He could imagine, if these NPCs descended upon Blue Star, what a terrifying blow it would be to Blue Star. That is a great Luo Golden Immortal. They could destroy a country with a single thought, the very existence of a planet. If we can't control them, it would be a disaster for Washa, like the end of the world. But do not worry, the Qingyun sect in the game's lore is a righteous sect and won't harm the innocent. It is the demonic sects you should worry about. They eat people and refine human souls for cultivation. Those are the real threats. I understand. I will report these matters truthfully. If these sects truly manifest in Washa, it would be a catastrophic disaster for us. He did not dare to imagine the future. If these NPCs really come, what will happen to them? The NPCs have higher cultivation bases, and they have been training for much longer than them. They have far more tricks up their sleeves. These people have merely downloaded the game's memories. If a real fight breaks out, they lack the actual experience that NPCs possess. It would be like bringing a knife to a gunfight. By the way, Ms. Yan, do you know, are there any other powerhouses in the game? Someone stronger than you, for instance. There are plenty of people stronger than me. Back when I played, I could not even crack the top 50 on the leaderboard. Those people were all at the Tribulation Transcendent stage or higher, especially my master. The one who taught me how to play was called Xiao Yao Tianzun. He was already a celestial immortal back then. If he is still playing, he might be a saint or even higher by now. Listening from afar, I felt a jolt, my eyes gradually widening in shock, because I heard a name I was all too familiar with. Xiao Yao Tianzun, and my own game ID is exactly that, Xiao Yao Tianzun. I never expected teacher Yan Yu to know my game handle, and she even claims to be my disciple, but I can't figure out who she is, because I have had way too many disciples in my time. It seems this master is quite important to Ms. Yan. Luo Dao chuckled. Indeed. Yan Yu nodded, her mind drifting back to those memories, a faint smile playing on her lips. She wanted more than ever to know what kind of person Xiao Yao Tianzun really was. I will be sure to keep an eye out for this Xiao Yao Tianzun. May I ask what your game ID is, Ms. Yan? We communicate using our game names for security reasons. My game name is Luo Dao Zhang. Shui Xianzi. Yan Yu replied honestly. Hearing that, my eyes widened slightly and I was completely stunned. To think that my own Dao companion, who is also my disciple, turns out to be my own teacher. It is a small world, is not it? My Dao companion is actually my teacher. I do not plan on revealing my identity. That would be way too awkward, being Dao companions with my teacher, and sending her all those cringy sweet messages every day. Just thinking about it makes me cringe. It is better to keep it buried in my heart, and not let anyone else know. Shui Xianzi, that is a nice name. Well, that is all for now. I need to go back and report. Your ID badge will be issued in a few days. As for your position, we will discuss that later. We assign roles based on cultivation levels. A moment later, Luo Dao and Yan Yu return to the training grounds. Within 2 days, the Cultivator Management Department will officially launch. Everyone will have a chance to join by then. We will provide generous benefits and compensation. The higher your cultivation level, the better the perks. Everyone, remember to keep an eye on the news. With that, Luo Dao boarded a helicopter and left the grounds. The entire place erupted into a buzz of excitement. This Cultivator Management Department is opening so soon. Are you going to join? Luo Dao looked at me, asking with a hint of excitement. We can get a government job before we even graduate. He seemed really interested. Looking at the starry-eyed Luo Dao, I shook my head helplessly. I do not want to join those management departments. It is too much of a hassle. I prefer a quiet life. Suddenly, a deafening thunderclap shook the clear blue sky. The cultivation ranking list is opening. That primordial voice echoed from the heavens once more. Everyone looked up. The previously clear sky suddenly turned gray and was blanketed by dark clouds. Not a single ray of sunlight could be seen. I scanned with my divine sense, and was shocked to find these clouds covering all of Huaxia. The entire nation was plunged into darkness. In an instant, a beam of golden light pierced through the clouds. A scroll descended along the golden light, floating in the sky. I could feel that this scroll contained an incredibly terrifying amount of spiritual energy. At the very least, it is a heaven-grade spirit treasure. The scroll hovered for a good 7 or 8 seconds before it started moving. As it slowly unfurled, it stretched a full 100 meters long and wide. Everyone in the country could see it crystal clear. But inside there was nothing at all, just a hazy white void. The booming voice of the primordial Tao echoed once more. The cultivation ranking has been activated. It will reveal the top 100 cultivators. Those who make the list will receive rewards. The higher the rank, the better the prize. Starting now, from the 100th place. As the voice faded, black characters began to appear on the golden list. 100th place, Radislav's Greens. Realm, Nascent Soul. Reward, 5 Nascent Soul Pills. As the text appeared and the voice finished, the player's name was displayed, and the realm was visible to everyone in the country. The 100th place is only at the Nascent Soul stage. That is a bit underwhelming, is not it? I thought at least they would be at the Mahayana stage. Didn't expect it to be this low. Then the top rank is probably just a great golden immortal, or something. Feels like this list is pretty inflated. Only Nascent Soul at 100th place. I bet the first place is not much better. I am not too surprised by this cultivation ranking. The game has only been out for a year. Playing for a year, you would be lucky to reach the tribulation stage. But if you do not play, you will get challenged and cut down by others. From time to time, you will be attacked by game monsters. Even ghost incursions will drain your cultivation. For those who stopped playing, no matter how high their cultivation was, it eventually withered away. I can say for sure, by the 10th year, I will be the only one left on the entire leaderboard still playing. Everyone else has quit. But these Nascent Soul Pills, I could not care less. After all, my inventory is already maxed out with 999 of them. That is not my personal limit, but the game's limit. 999 is the cap. Meanwhile, at a secret base of the Huaxia Dragon Division, we need to track down everyone mentioned on the golden list. Those who made the list are top-tier players. Their power is not to be underestimated. If we can gather them together, it will be our greatest strength. Li Long stared at the scroll in the sky and spoke in a deep voice. Behind him stood a row of people in military uniforms. They were all various high-ranking generals. These people are the pillars of Huaxia. None can be spared. Before the golden list could even finish its countdown, the military had already made their move. Whether it was Weibo, forums, or message boards, anywhere that could post messages, there was a pinned announcement. The Cultivation Management Department is now being established. If you have made it onto the cultivation ranking, please contact us. Below the post, they listed hundreds of phone numbers that could be dialed. They originally planned to announce this tomorrow, but the appearance of the cultivation ranking forced their hand. They had to recruit these big shots into the department early, to keep them in check and put the public at ease, because the whole internet was buzzing about this. Many netizens saw it. Some were overjoyed, others were terrified. Great, the government is finally taking action. I was just panicking, wondering what would happen if I offended some cultivator by accident. I am just a normal person, after all. This is exactly how it should be. You do not realize that since the game became reality, it has only been about 2 hours, but already over 100 crimes have been committed. It is terrifying. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, does not it? Meanwhile, on the school playground, the government has started their recruitment drive. Everyone, hurry up and call to apply for the Cultivation Management Department. A student on the playground looked at his phone and shouted loudly. The other students heard him and scrambled to open their phones. The first thing they saw was the notification. It was exactly that post. One by one, they all picked up their phones and started dialing. They all wanted to join the Cultivation Management Department. Chenlan, I am joining. Are you coming or not? Luo Dao pulled out his phone, ready to make a call. You go first. I will wait and see. I shook my head with a smile. All right then. Once I have made a name for myself in there, I will let you know when to join. Luo Dao walked to the side and started making his call. But after several attempts, the line was always busy. Finally, he managed to get through. I listened in. The process was quite simple. It was just for Luo Dao to submit his game username. Then, head to the designated official zone for verification. If confirmed as a cultivator, on the spot, one can join the Cultivator Management Department. This zone is still being selected. It should be sorted out within the next 2 days. Then it will be announced nationwide. Just then, the golden ranking in the sky started again. This time, the 99th place is still at the nascent soul stage. The reward, 7 nascent soul pills. As time passed by, 2.5 hours have already gone by. The cultivation ranking has reached the 60th place. The ones ahead have already reached the deity transformation stage. This 60th place is very likely to be at the great vehicle stage. 60th place, Shui Xianzi, early great vehicle stage. Reward, water spirit immortal herb. As the ranking was revealed, all the teachers and students on the field were looking at Yan Yu in complete shock. 60th place is already at the great vehicle stage. That is a bit too insane, right? Does that mean everyone after 50th place is at the tribulation transcendence or immortal level? Yan Yu was a bit surprised to see she was only 60th. Even the great vehicle stage can only rank 60th. Those higher up must be at the tribulation transcendence stage, right? As for this result, I was not surprised at all. However, this water spirit immortal herb did catch me off guard. I recall this water spirit immortal herb is for developing water spirit roots. Every cultivator in the game has 5 great spirit roots. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, everyone has them. You unlock your own spirit roots, and you can even gather all 5. It won't be like in the novels, with trash roots or no roots at all, but after it manifested into reality, I discovered that I truly have no spirit roots. Perhaps I need to unlock them myself. This water spirit immortal herb is just perfect to let Yan Yu unlock her own water spirit root. And not long after the ranking was announced, Yan Yu received a phone call. Although eavesdropping is quite unethical, I still used my divine sense to listen in. It was Luo Wei calling Yan Yu, inviting her to the Dragon Department's Qindu branch to meet with the leadership. There were also very important matters to discuss with her. Hearing this, I was taken aback for a moment. What is the Dragon Department? Could it be that kind of organization from the novels? Like a secret government base? Before long, Yan Yu left the field. She vanished into thin air right where she stood. The ordinary people on the scene were shocked. Only cultivators knew that the great vehicle stage can already achieve shrinking the earth into an inch. They can travel to very distant places in a single thought. And in the entire scene, only I knew where Yan Yu went, because my divine sense had been locked onto her. I would like to see for myself what this Dragon Department really is. What exactly is this Dragon Department? What exactly is this Dragon Department? Soon, Yan Yu arrived at a deep mountain, and hidden deep within the mountains was actually a heavily guarded secret base. Dozens of soldiers were patrolling the posts. There were also hundreds of soldiers training. Luo Wei was waiting at the entrance. He led Yan Yu inside. Passing through the corridors, they finally reached a conference room. Inside the room, 7 or 8 people wearing military uniforms were already waiting. Everyone's rank insignia was very high. The lowest was a major general, but everyone was very polite when they saw Yan Yu. So that was the reason they sought out Yan Yu. The goal is to have cultivators manage the department, specifically the deputy director of the Qindu branch. As for the director general, it is still under discussion. They then went on to explain the department's core duties. It is mainly responsible for keeping those who have not joined any organization in check and protecting the common folk. Since the emergence of cultivators, crime rates have skyrocketed. In just half a day, across the entire country, there have been hundreds of criminal incidents, and the vast majority of these were committed by cultivators. Yan Yu did not refuse. She felt that since she possessed this kind of power, she should also shoulder the responsibility, because she is a citizen of Huasha. Several generals were quite impressed by her. They eventually appointed her as the deputy director of the branch to recruit talent at the university, gathering all the cultivators together to form an incredibly powerful force. However, at that very moment, the golden ranking in the sky revealed a new name. Holy crap! a tribulation transcendence big shot. Luo Dao's shout on the field suddenly broke my train of thought. I then retracted my divine sense and looked up at the golden ranking. One look and I was slightly taken aback. Rank 51, Shui Xianzi, early stage tribulation transcendence. Reward, random post-heaven spirit treasure. This Shui Xianzi is one of my former Dao partners. A girl I met 6 months after the game launched. She was quite the little rich girl too. Back then, my cultivation level was still quite low. I saw a little rich girl on the World Channel, looking for an apprentice. I just added her as a friend on a whim. To my surprise, she accepted. After playing for a few days, she suddenly sent me a Dao partner request, wanting to tie the knot. I thought she was just messing around, but she turned out to be dead serious. She even sent me quite a few good items. It is a pity she only played for a month before quitting, but because she was a whale, she managed to pay to win her way to the tribulation stage in a month. Heard she spent over 100,000. Not sure if it is true. Seeing this name brought back old memories, but I had no idea who this Dao partner really was. Meanwhile, in a luxury villa in Longdu, a girl with a perfect figure, slim where she should be, and extremely curvaceous where it counts, with a youthful face, was lying on a lounge chair by the outdoor pool, gazing at the golden ranking in the sky. Seeing her own name on the leaderboard, the girl jumped up in excitement, dancing with joy. Oh my god, I made the leaderboard. I am actually ranked 51st. Who would have thought that a game I played on a whim, where I just spent a little pocket money, would actually make me a powerhouse? I wonder what level that little brother has reached now. The girl reminisced with a smile. That sweet talking boy who called me sister every day. He must be in his 20s by now, right? I wonder if he is still playing that game. If he is, he must be really strong by now. As more names were revealed on the golden ranking, I saw all of my 8 Dao partners listed on the board. The highest one was at the human mortal realm. I vaguely remember they were almost true immortals back then. It seems they quit because of some personal matters. They stopped playing, and I never saw them again. For now, I only know the true identity of Shui Xianzi. The others remain a mystery. By this time, Luo Dao and I had already returned to the dorm. The golden ranking is still announcing. It is only at the top 20. No one knows who is in the top 10. Luo Dao stood on the balcony, looking at the dusk sky, muttering to himself while watching the golden scroll. If I had known, I would have played that game more back then. Otherwise, I would be a big shot too. Luo Dao walked back, looking quite regretful. I just smiled and said nothing. I lay down on my bed, closed my eyes, and used my divine sense to survey all of Huasha. The Cultivation Management Organization, formed by Huasha, is already searching for people and patrolling everywhere. A bunch of murderers have escaped. Luo Dao suddenly shouted out. I opened my eyes, sat up, and looked at him. What is wrong? Look. Luo Dao ran over, sat beside me, and showed me his phone. It was playing a news report. A news anchor was speaking. Across the country, many high-risk criminals have escaped. These murderers broke out of prison successfully. They were just recently captured, but today they gained extraordinary powers and broke out. Citizens, please stay indoors and do not go out. If you spot any suspicious individuals, please call immediately. The official hotline for the Cultivator Management Department. I frowned. No wonder the Cultivator Management Department is in such a rush, recruiting people and stepping up patrols. So that is why so many murderers escaped. This is going to cause quite a stir in society. Suddenly, I sensed something and looked out the window with a grave expression. What is the matter? Luo Dao sensed that something was off with me. Just keep an eye on things. I need to take care of something. I gave a faint smile, patted Luo Dao on the shoulder, and walked out of the dorm. The moment I stepped out of the dorm door, I vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, on the coast of Haidu City, on a stretch of beach, several men and women in uniform were surrounding a man in prison garb. Yuan Xiaoyang, surrender immediately. You are not getting away. This man was the high-risk criminal Yuan Xiaoyang. He was supposed to stand trial tomorrow and be sentenced to death. But who would have thought that with the game becoming reality today, he would gain cultivation? He had become a supreme cultivator. Ha ha ha, do you really think you can stop me? Yuan Xiaoyang threw his head back and laughed wildly. Once I cross this coast, the other side is another country. When I am there, I will grow strong and come back for revenge. Who can stop me then? Don't think you are the only one with cultivation. We have it too. The man in the lead shouted coldly. In an instant, spiritual energy manifested in his hands. It transformed into a sharp, gleaming sword. He was at the Golden Core stage, also a member of the Cultivator Management Department, a squad leader named Yi Luo. Ha ha ha, a mere Golden Core stage dares to try and catch me. You guys really have a death wish. Yuan Xiaoyang threw his head back and laughed loudly. The next second, a powerful and terrifying pressure erupted from his body, shaking the surroundings. Instantly, Everyone in the management squad was forced back dozens of meters. They stumbled, struggling to come to a stop. Yi Luo's eyes widened in shock. This is the nascent soul stage. I never imagined that this Yuan Xiaoyang would actually be at the nascent soul stage. Then those of us at the golden core and foundation establishment stages, +2 at the body refining stage, stand no chance at all. The group's brows furrowed, their hearts sinking to the bottom. Report, we have encountered a nascent soul expert here on the Haidu city coast. Requesting immediate backup. Requesting immediate backup. Yi Luo hurriedly grabbed his satellite radio and shouted. There was no way they could stop him. Yuan Xiaoyang would probably wipe them out in one move. Die! Yuan Xiaoyang roared maniacally and struck out with his palm. In an instant the sky changed. A blood-red palm of spiritual energy condensed and struck down fiercely. With that one strike, 3 of the 5 squad members were instantly killed. They exploded into mists of blood, dying instantly. Only a terrified Yi Luo and the deputy squad leader at the foundation establishment stage remained. Ha ha ha. This is fun. Weren't you guys acting so arrogant before? I hate you official types the most, thinking you are something special just because you have a little power. Now, let us see who is the boss. Yuan Xiaoyang laughed hysterically. He gathered another blood-red palm, ready to finish off the remaining 2. Watching the blood-red palm descend, Yi Luo closed his eyes, waiting for death. However, what followed was a sound of pure terror from Yuan Xiaoyang. You. Who are you? Hearing this, Yi Luo opened his eyes in confusion. He was stunned by the scene before him. A figure stood before him, but he could not make out the face. All he could see was that the silhouette was tall and imposing. Who are you? Yuan Xiaoyang stared ahead in sheer terror. The young man's pupils constricted sharply. Just a moment ago, his attack had been effortlessly neutralized by this guy. With a mere flick of a hand, his strike vanished into thin air. Such nonchalance filled him with dread. A fear that chilled him to the bone. I did not say a word, just frowned at Yuan Xiaoyang. I only sensed Yuan Xiaoyang's presence, so I teleported here instantly. To think he could be this vicious, killing government personnel so casually, it really ticks me off. I am sorry, please spare me. I did not mean to kill anyone. Yuan Xiaoyang seemed to realize his mistake, and hurriedly knelt to beg for mercy. Die, I said coldly. In an instant, Yuan Xiaoyang exploded into a mist of blood and vanished without a trace. Both his soul and his nascent soul were utterly obliterated. There would be no chance of resurrection. This scene left Yi Luo and the deputy captain stunned. They looked at me in horror. Thank you for your help, sir. Yi Luo stood up and cupped his hands in gratitude. Don't mention it. We are all Huasha people. It was just a small favor. I did not turn back. I did not want to reveal my identity. It would be a hassle if the government came looking for me. However, I could see everything clearly through my divine sense. I saw that the deputy captain's arm was gone. I snapped my fingers. A surge of pure spiritual energy instantly rushed toward the deputy captain. It swirled around his severed arm, shimmering with light. Under their astonished gazes, the missing arm slowly began to regrow bone, then veins and finally flesh, fully recovering. Thank you, sir. The deputy captain looked at his left arm. Seeing it fully restored and functional, he fell to his knees with a thud and kowtowed in thanks. It is nothing, I said calmly, using a trace of spiritual energy to help him up. Just then, I noticed someone rushing over. It was Yan Yu. Looks like she came as backup. Goodbye. I left those words and vanished into thin air. Yi Luo and the deputy captain knelt down together once more. We will never forget your life-saving grace, sir. At that moment, the golden ranking in the sky spoke again. The cultivation ranking update is now complete. The top 10 will be announced tomorrow. With that, the golden ranking rolled up and disappeared without a trace. The next day, news of the global manifestation spread across all major platforms. Huasha saw the manifestation of cultivators. The United States saw the manifestation of the Superpower Alliance. The Empire of the Rising Sun saw the era of the ninja. The world was in chaos. Last night, countries held online discussions. They reached a temporary peace, agreeing that no one is allowed to cross borders to invade. Lying in bed, I scrolled through Weibo with a frown. Indeed, the arrival of cultivators has brought many disasters to the country. Nearly 40,000 people died yesterday, all killed by cultivators. They do not know how to control their power. For ordinary people, it is a catastrophe. I feel like I need to do something. When order is lost, there is often a need for a strong figure to step in and maintain it. And as it happens, I am that strong figure. Just then, the sky darkened with clouds again. The thunderous voice of the golden ranking echoed across the heavens. Cultivation ranking opening. The top 10 will now be revealed. All rewards will be distributed at the same time. As the game fully manifests, Dharma treasures manifest in 2 days. Some demonic beasts will also manifest. Hearing this, I flashed onto the balcony and frowned at the golden ranking in the sky. Demonic beasts are manifesting so soon. The issue with the cultivators has not even been dealt with, and now the beasts are coming out. If things keep going like this, it is going to be total chaos. At the Chengdu regional base, Yan Yu looked up at the golden ranking in the sky, a flicker of anticipation in her eyes. You must be in the top 10, right? She had been waiting all day yesterday, without hearing a single mention of Xiao Yao Tianzun. She was terrified that he might no longer be in this world, because if a player is gone, they won't appear on the golden ranking. That was the talk of the forums yesterday. If you are still alive, you would definitely be in the top 10. At this moment, the memory of Xiao Yao Tianzun surfaced in her mind again. Something he once told her. Will you come back to play this game? When you return, I will surely have become incredibly strong, and then I will take you under my wing. It is just a pity she never got to go back. Amidst the expectant gazes of the crowd, the voice of the heavenly Tao resonated once more. 10th place, Taoist Qingfeng, Great Luo Golden Immortal Perfection. Reward, Shanshan Spirit Treasure, Dust Sealing Buddha Beads. The golden rankings reveal of the 10th place shocked everyone. A Great Luo Golden Immortal at perfection is only 10th. Just how strong are the ones above him? Meanwhile, on a remote mountain, inside a Taoist temple, a middle-aged Taoist, looking to be in his 40s, suddenly snapped his eyes open. Cause and effect. Who would have thought that a game from 10 years ago would trigger so many drastic changes? Just what kind of power do the top 9 possess? The middle-aged Taoist looked out the door. At the sky, his heart filled with shock. 10 years ago, before he became a Taoist master, he had spent roughly 100,000 hours playing the cultivation game. In 1 year, he reached Great Luo Golden Immortal Perfection. His company went bankrupt, his wife and children passed away, leaving him with no hope left for the mortal world. He resolutely joined the temple and became a monk. He thought his Great Luo Golden Immortal status made him invincible, but he never imagined there were 9 others even stronger than him. 9th place, no matter how good your kung fu is, you are still afraid of a kitchen knife. Great Luo Heaven Immortal, Early Stage. Reward, Shanshan Spirit Treasure, Divine Blade and Spirit Root. The golden ranking spoke again, leaving the Taoist stunned. A Great Luo Heaven Immortal is only 9th. Does that mean those above are sages or sage kings? Holy crap, 9th place is already a Great Luo Heaven Immortal. I do not even dare to imagine what is above that. 8th place, Great Luo Heaven Immortal, Mid-Stage. One by one, they were revealed by the golden ranking. A Great Luo Heaven Immortal at perfection only ranked 6th, which means it is highly likely that quasi-sages or sages will appear next. Perhaps these are the 5 strongest people in the whole country, and 5th place might be a major turning point. Everyone craned their necks in anticipation for the 5th place. 5th place, True Person Shalu Quasi-Sage. Reward, Shanshan Supreme Treasure, Spirit Void Divine Brush. Meanwhile, far away overseas, in a country where the ninja game has manifested, at an underground organization base. What? I am only 5th. Wang Zhengguo, who fled from Huasha, stood up abruptly and shouted in shock. I did not think my quasi-sage level would only be 5th. That means there are 4 others even more powerful than me. A sense of crisis began to intensify within him. It seems staying here is no longer an option. 4th place, Heavenly Tao, slightly weaker than me, quasi-sage. Reward, Shanshan Supreme Treasure, Immeasurable Immortal Sword. Immortal Grade Pill, Saint Breaking Pill. Still a quasi-sage. Even 4th place is a quasi-sage. Then 3rd place must be a sage, right? Hurry, 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 I can't wait anymore. I need to know who is number 1. 3rd place, Great Might Heavenly Dragon Sage. Reward, Shanshan Supreme Treasure, Immortal Slaying Pagoda. Holy Physique, 5 Elements Holy Physique. When the crowd saw the reward for 3rd place, they were shocked. A holy physique that only appears in novels. Is this something exclusive to the top 3? Who is 2nd? A Sage King. Reward, Shanshan Supreme Treasure, 5 Elements Blade. Holy Physique, Longevity Holy Physique. The Saint King is only ranked 2nd. The whole country was stunned when the 2nd place was revealed. This is the Saint King we are talking about, and he is only 2nd. Could the person in 1st place be even more powerful than the Saint King? But everyone quickly realized something. The 1st place is likely at the peak of the Saint King realm, or perhaps even a quasi-emperor. But regardless, the 1st place will be the entire nation's undisputed strongest individual. Everyone stared intently at the golden ranking. Suddenly, the sky changed. Dark clouds gathered with thunder and lightning. A massive golden 5-clawed dragon appeared. Soaring above the clouds, a thunderous bell toll echoed across the heavens. It was as if welcoming an emperor, truly shocking and magnificent. Yan Yu's heart was racing, and she was not the only one. Shui Xianzi felt the same. 1st place, Xiao Yao Tianzun, Supreme Great Emperor. Reward, Heavenly Treasure, Blood-Slaying Sword, and the Map of Mountains and Rivers. Physique, Innate Saint Body. As the golden ranking revealed the name, the top rank finally appeared before everyone. And when they saw those 4 characters, everyone held their breath for a few seconds. The whole country went silent. But soon, the entire nation erupted in chaos. Holy crap, what is this? What kind of realm is Supreme Great Emperor? They skipped the Saint King realm entirely and jumped straight to Supreme Great Emperor. Emperor. I thought the Saint Realm was already badass enough. I never imagined there would be something as terrifying as a Supreme Great Emperor. Is Supreme Great Emperor the highest realm in the game? Can any cultivator come out and explain this? I am a cultivator, let me explain. Supreme Great Emperor is indeed the highest realm in the game. There are many realms below it, like Heavenly Emperor, Immortal Emperor, Quasi-Emperor. Only above the Heavenly Emperor is the Supreme Great Emperor, which means this realm can basically crush everyone in the country, right? Crush them. A single thought from him could blow up the entire blue star. Hearing the cultivator's explanation, ordinary people were completely panicked. A single thought could make the blue star explode. A power thousands of times more terrifying than a nuclear bomb actually exists in a human being. He is actually a Supreme Great Emperor. Yan Yu stared at the golden ranking, her beautiful eyes filled with shock. She thought Xiao Yao Tianzun was a saint king, or perhaps a quasi-emperor would have been impressive enough. I never thought it would be the highest realm, Supreme Great Emperor. This is a level that can destroy an entire planet with a single thought. And this being who can wander the universe is actually my Tao companion, Xiao Ya Tianzun. I wonder if he still remembers me. Minister Li Long, standing nearby, heard Yan Yu and frowned, asking, Deputy Minister Yan, from the way you are speaking, it seems you know this Xiao Yao Tianzun. He is my Tao companion in the game. We used to play together. Yan Yu did not hide anything and answered truthfully. Her face flushed slightly as she answered. She seemed to have thought of something shy. Once these words were out, everyone around heard them. They all turned to look at Yan Yu. Deputy Minister Yan's Tao companion is actually Xiao Yao Tianzun. In that case, can't we ask Deputy Minister Yan to invite Xiao Yao Tianzun to join our department? If that happens, our department would be the strongest department in the country. Listening to the surrounding discussion, Li Long's eyes lit up, and he asked joyfully, That is right. Can you invite Xiao Yao Tianzun to join our department? If he comes, I can even give him my position as minister. Hearing this, Yan Yu's eyes dimmed, and she shook her head with a sigh. I can't, because I do not even know who he is in reality. I do not have any way to contact him either. I only know his game name. Everyone immediately looked deflated. Luo Dao lowered his head, feeling a bit disappointed. Meanwhile, Yan Yu looked up and continued to watch. The golden ranking, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Who are you, really? Will we ever meet again? Meanwhile, on the other side, Shui Xianzi had a completely different mindset from Yan Yu. Ha ha ha. My Tao companion is actually a Supreme Great Emperor. I must find him. Shui Xianzi stood with her hands on her hips, head tilted back, laughing heartily. Who would have thought that my Tao companion is actually the top powerhouse on the leaderboard? How glorious would it be if I told everyone? No matter what, I must find the real Xiao Yao Tianzun and cling to his golden thigh. Someone come here. Shui Xianzi shouted out loud. Several servants and bodyguards rushed in from outside the door instantly. Search the entire network for Xiao Yao Tianzun immediately. Don't miss a single scrap of information. The following is the novel section. For those who want to read more, download the QQ Reading app. Read immediately and add to your bookshelf. Search for Online Game Great Emperor. The first result is the one. The Cultivation leaderboard has been fully revealed. In 2 days, the Dharma Treasure leaderboard will open. The voice of Hongming rang out once again. As the voice faded away, the golden leaderboard vanished. The dark clouds in the sky dispersed. The weather turned clear again. Watching the golden leaderboard disappear, Chen Lan finally withdrew his gaze. He did not know how Washa viewed him now. Were they afraid or were they happy? Chen Lan closed his eyes. He used his divine stone to shroud Washa. He could see everyone and hear everything. Usually, he would not do this. It would be too noisy. It would annoy him. What should we do? We have such a terrifying great emperor, and he is completely uncontrollable. Who knows if he might suddenly get angry and wipe us all out? Yeah, we definitely can't afford to offend him. Everyone, do not speak ill of the great emperor. His divine stone is enough to see all of us. For all we know, he might be monitoring us right now. No way, right? Is he really that powerful? Then, if I am taking a shower, wouldn't he be able to see everything clearly? Indeed, the divine stone's reach can penetrate even beyond the universe. Everything is under his watchful eye. He can reach the heavens and enter the earth. He is omnipotent. This is the terror of a supreme great emperor. Sigh, I do not know if the existence of such a powerful person is a good thing or a bad thing. If he is a bad person, 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 then we will never have a day of peace. Then we will never have a day of peace. Then we will never have a day of peace. Then we will never have a day of peace. Chen Lan put away the divine stone. Chen Lan put away the divine stone. His brows furrowed slightly. He had not expected that the entire nation would be so afraid of him. It was not just ordinary people. Even the cultivators were even more terrified. They were afraid that he might be a bad person, who could destroy the entire world with a single thought, and kill them all. His existence is like a nuclear weapon, ready to fire at any moment, which is truly terrifying. And this fear is ever present, every single moment. As long as he remains in Huasha, they will always be afraid. Chen Lan shook his head helplessly. I never thought the status of a supreme great emperor would make everyone so afraid. It seems I need to do something to let these people lower their guard. Holy crap, Chen Lan. Did you just hear that? Xiao Yao Tianzun is actually a supreme emperor, and the Cultivator Management Department just posted an update. They are searching for Xiao Yao Tianzun across the entire network. Just then, the dorm door was pushed open. Luo Dao walked in, acting all dramatic, but when he looked up, he was stunned. Chen Lan was not in the dorm. That is strange. Where's Chen Lan? Luo Dao scratched his head in confusion. Just as he was about to sit down, he heard a thunderous voice echoing in his mind. I am Xiao Yao Tianzun. The voice sounded like it was inside his head, yet at the same time, it felt like it was ringing right in his ears. Startled, Luo Dao frantically looked left and right, trying to find the figure of Xiao Yao Tianzun, but he did not see a single soul. His eyes widened in shock. He finally realized who had just spoken. Xiao Yao Tianzun. Holy crap. A legend is a legend. He can actually speak directly into my mind. Incredible, Luo Dao marveled. And it was not just him. The entire nation heard this voice, regardless of age or gender, whether they were far away at the borders, or deep in the wilderness, or far away at the borders, or anywhere else. As long as they were within the borders of Huasha, they could all hear this voice. Countless people across the country stopped what they were doing, standing still and looking around, trying to find Chen Lan's figure. But that was impossible, because Chen Lan was in a place they could not even imagine. This is Xiao Yao Tianzun's voice. How does it sound exactly like the voice from the golden ranking? Ethereal and sacred. It makes people feel completely at ease. He must be using a voice changer, right? There are many things about a supreme emperor that we can't comprehend, like this nationwide broadcast. Truly impressive. It is just like what those cultivators said. Xiao Yao Tianzun can see all of us, and hear our discussions. We have no secrets left. Everyone, stop talking. Let us listen to what the big boss Xiao Yao has to say. It surely can't be anything bad. What an awesome feeling. I wonder if the big boss Xiao Yao is handsome in person. At the Chengdu branch, Chen Lan's voice just rang out. Everyone stopped their work. They habitually looked up at the sky, but quickly realized, this is not the golden ranking. It is Xiao Yao Tianzun, and the one who reacted the most was Yan Yu. The moment she heard the voice, she vanished from where she stood. The next second, she appeared in the sky, anxiously looking around. The result was predictable. She lowered her head in disappointment. She did not see a single figure. Clearly, Xiao Yao Tianzun was somewhere very far away, talking to them. However, Yan Yu did not give up. Someday, she would definitely find Xiao Yao Tianzun. I did not expect the golden ranking to expose my cultivation level, but I can tell everyone here, I have no intention of destroying Blue Star, and I certainly won't wipe out all of you. Chen Lan's voice rang out once again. Hearing this, the entire nation finally understood why the mysterious Xiao Yao Tianzun would speak to them. It turns out he already knew they were worried he was a villain who would destroy the world. I have come out specifically to explain this. Hearing Chen Lan's response, the common people felt much more at ease. As long as he does not just destroy the world on a whim, that is good enough. I know many are searching for my tracks, but I won't be showing myself when the time comes. Recalling it once more, this time the tone carried a hint of impatience, almost like a warning. The wrath of the earth. No one can escape it. At this moment, no one dared to retort. Chen Lan could only listen in silence. I am a citizen of Huasha. When necessary, I will take action, but I will not join any department. Hearing those words, I am a citizen of Huasha, the entire nation felt even more reassured. As long as they remember Xiao Yao Tianzun is one of them, they feel a deep sense of security. The people of Huasha felt a profound sense of safety. After a long while, Chen Lan's voice was no longer heard. Only then did everyone slowly return to their normal lives and work. Their worries had dissipated significantly, no longer fearing that Chen Lan would destroy the world, but instead, they felt a glimmer of security. With such a supreme great emperor watching over us. With such a supreme great emperor watching over us. With such a supreme great emperor watching over us. With such a supreme great emperor watching over us. With such a supreme great emperor watching over us. Who would dare to invade Huasha? 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 Who would dare to invade Washa? 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 Not bad, I can tell. He is a patriot. With him here, our Washa will be the safest country in this chaotic world. Li Long stood with his head bowed, standing before the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the sky, laughing heartily. With such a great emperor watching over us, he would like to see which fool would dare to provoke us. Old Li, there are many citizens abroad who want to return, but the situation overseas is not very optimistic. We need to send people to bring them back. At that moment, a man walked over to report the situation. Fine, send a few tribulation transcendence experts to pick them up. With them, it should be enough. Li Long could not help but smile. Before, everyone wanted to run abroad. Now, they are reluctant to leave. Hey, Chen Lan returned to the dorm and saw Luo Dao sitting on his chair. Where did you go? Luo Dao asked, puzzled. I went to the moon. Chen Lan replied with a smile. Stop bragging. Did you hear the voice of the big boss Xiao Yao just now? I heard it. It was so cool. This kind of magic can actually let you chat with the whole nation. It is so cool. If my phone runs out of battery later, I can use that to message my girlfriend. You are a lost cause with that move. Simps never have a good ending. Chen Len shook his head, helplessly saying, you say. Single quote, big boss, can he really see what all of us are doing? Maybe. So if I am taking a shower, he can see that too. Don't overthink it. A big boss like him would not be interested in a shrimp like you. Screw you. Are you logging in or not? Let us play Honor of Kings. 2 days passed in a flash. Ever since Xiao Yao Tianzun broadcast his message to the whole nation, the crime rate across the country has dropped to near zero, because they all know that there is always a pair of eyes watching them from above, seeing everything they do. It is just like the old saying goes, heaven sees what man does. And now, there is truly such a Tianzun, constantly watching over them. Those with malicious intent dare not make a move anymore, terrified of angering the Tianzun and bringing down divine judgment, causing their souls to scatter into nothingness. And precisely because they dare not commit crimes, the work of the Cultivator Management Department has become incredibly easy. They have now recruited 350 million people, all of whom are cultivators, from high-level great Luo immortals, down to those with basic body refining strength. All have been firmly brought under their control. The only force they could not control is that of Xiao Yao Tianzun, that mysterious cultivator who could destroy the world in a single thought. But after 2 days, everyone's worries have almost vanished. They all feel that Xiao Yao Tianzun is a good person, and feel much more at ease. Among the billions of people in Washa, only a small fraction have become cultivators, while the vast majority are still ordinary people. Therefore, the government decided to usher in the era of universal cultivation, and to fully renovate some primary schools, middle schools, high schools, and universities, restructuring them entirely. They established cultivation academies, teaching students from a young age how to cultivate, helping them transcend their mortal bodies. And there is no age limit for this. Even if you are over 80, you can still enroll in a cultivation university and cultivate alongside everyone else. Qin University is one of them. In just 2 days, it has already been converted into a cultivation university. Everyone was automatically enrolled into the cultivation department. However, they still have to study math and science every day, just in case, because not everyone has the talent for cultivation. The new principal is Yan Yu. Let us go, class monitor Chen. Everyone is waiting for you. All right, I know. I should have beaten you to death back then. I am really done with you, kid. Chen Lan felt extremely helpless because of Luo Dao's big mouth. Now, many people know the reason for his cultivation level. As a result, the teacher even arranged a teaching assistant position for him, though this was already very low-key. Since he was originally supposed to be the vice principal, he was very resistant to it, not wanting to be famous. But his classmates collectively begged him, and some ordinary people even knelt down, just wanting to learn cultivation. Seeing so many people wanting to learn cultivation, Chen Lan felt a sense of déjà vu. It was as if he had returned to the game. The feeling of teaching others how to play, that feeling was quite wonderful. It is like seeing a newbie slowly learning how to play the game under your guidance. It is very fulfilling. Perhaps he could also be a teacher, in reality. Anyway, there is no one left in this world who can teach him. Let us just treat it as experiencing the life of a teacher. The second he stepped out of the dorm, the sky suddenly darkens with clouds. Lightning flashes, thunder rumbles. The sound of the phoenix cry rings out again. Treasures will be bestowed in an hour. People all over the country heard it. The once peaceful days are heating up again. Not bad. I have been waiting for this day for a long time. I remember every player who reached the foundation establishment stage would always get a new magical treasure. I just happened to be at the foundation establishment stage. Why did not I play a little longer? Now I regret it. Everyone has a magical treasure. Only I do not. The treasure limit is reached. Are those pets and mounts still playable? I remember pets were unlocked at the golden core stage. It is like everyone got a little fox. That fox is useless. Everyone has a white little fox. Mounts were unlocked at the nascent soul stage. I guess people at golden core and above unlock them. Yeah, I saw it this morning. It is a statistic released by the Cultivator Management Department. That really gave me a scare. Millions of cultivators, yet only a few hundred are at the nascent soul stage or higher. The rest are golden core and below. This ratio is too exaggerated. But thinking about it, it is normal. That game was so popular back then. They said it was a hit for a year. But in reality, it was not even a year. What a stupid game. Too much of a grind. No wonder. When I played, those rich guys would just blow them up. They would spend money to summon pets and mounts, and just attack us. Then I stopped playing after 2 days. Most people are still looking forward to the magical treasures, because these magical treasures were unlocked at the foundation establishment stage. Many people have reached the foundation establishment stage. 2/3 of the 30 million cultivators have treasures, except for those in the body refining stage. As for later pets and mounts, people were not that eager anymore, because they did not belong to them. Many of them have not reached that level yet, especially mounts. Only those at nascent soul and above have them. At this moment, Chen Lan arrived at the scene. He was not very concerned about the magical treasures, because these did not pose much of a threat to him. After all, the strongest magical treasure was in his hands. Heavenly Dao Supreme Treasure. The strongest treasure to appear in 10 years of gaming. It was the first Heavenly Dao Supreme Treasure. It was obtained through a lottery draw. The base price was 300,000 Washa coins. It was also the only limited edition first Heavenly Dao Supreme Treasure in the entire server. Meaning, besides this one, there would be no more Heavenly Dao Supreme Treasures released. I thought it was just a joke. I did not expect that in the following years. Even after the game shut down, it never appeared. He still remembers who managed to draw it back then. I heard it cost 1.3 million Washa coins to get it. It dominated the leaderboard for half a year. It broke through the Great Perfection stage. Then he stopped playing. Slowly he was surpassed and fell to the current Saint King. Thinking about it now makes me sweat. He seemed to have wiped out the top 20 players. And not just once, but multiple times. He logged in every day and wiped them out 2 or 3 times. It was like skipping class to play games. Every day he would forget to log in and just go fight them. As his cultivation grew higher, those people became more and more like trash. He could easily defeat them. The most crucial thing is that everyone inherited the game's memory. So, these people must know he talks about them every day. But I doubt anyone would dare to hold a grudge against him. Teacher Chen, Luo Dao's voice rang out from nearby, interrupting Chen Lan's train of thought. He looked up. He saw Luo Dao standing in the middle of the field, surrounded by 30 or 40 people. Men, women, young and old, all were there. Yeah, seeing them, Chen Lan smiled. This feeling is truly surreal. In just a few days, I have gone from being a student to a teacher, even if it is just as an instructor. And a real teacher does not even teach classes. They still asked me to substitute, simply because my cultivation level is higher. Greetings, teacher. Everyone bowed as they saw Chen Lan arrive. They greeted him one after another. Chen Lan nodded slightly. He scanned the crowd. Men, women, young and old, all were present. Most of them were young, mostly students from Chengdu University. There were also a few elderly and middle-aged people. Chen Lan's expression turned serious. You have all been selected and qualified as cultivators to be. Since you are here, you must follow orders. My training will be extremely grueling. If you feel you can't handle it, you can quit now. As he finished, everyone looked at each other, then nodded firmly. Their expressions were resolute. Reporting, teacher. We will absolutely persevere to the end. To be here and become Chen Lan's students. They all possess the aptitude for cultivation. They only lacked a teacher. How could they easily give up? This is the era of cultivation now. Ordinary people will eventually be phased out. Only through cultivation can one carve out their own path. Very well, everyone sit cross-legged. Close your eyes. Chen Lan nodded. He spoke in a deep voice. Though confused, everyone obeyed obediently. Even Luo Dao hurriedly sat down. Next, I will cleanse your marrow and refine your bones, removing the impurities from your bodies, making your physical forms more perfect, so you can achieve twice the results with half the effort, Chen Lan declared. After speaking, he joined his index and middle fingers and pointed forward. Streams of spiritual energy surged out, drilling into everyone's bodies. If this were in the game, every beginner would get a marrow cleansing pill to cleanse their marrow and refine their bones. Unfortunately, this is reality, and there are no pills to offer. He could only casually project some spiritual energy over to help them purge their bodies. He is the Supreme Emperor. His spiritual energy is 1,000 times more potent than a cleansing pill, and his energy is as vast and endless as the Milky Way. This tiny bit can be ignored. Arg, it hurts so much. What is this? It hurts. Everyone suddenly began to wail in agony. They lay on the ground, thrashing about like fish out of water. Their faces turned beet red. They looked to be in extreme pain. Marrow cleansing and bone refinement is inherently an extremely painful process. The spiritual energy travels through their bodies, flowing through their meridians, bones, organs, and blood, violently attacking and destroying those impurities. Every person has had them since they were in the womb. It belongs to the mortal body. From the moment you were born, you were already tainted, not to mention those who have lived for 20 or 30 years, or even 70 or 80. The filth within the body has long become a pile of trash. The filth within the body has long become a pile of trash. The older you get, the more it hurts, especially for those who are getting on in years. It is like being reborn. It hurts like a little kid crying. Hold on, Chen Lan shouted coldly. A wave of spiritual energy surged into everyone's minds, bringing them back to their senses. The pain seemed to ease a little. This is the most important step in your life. If you give up now, you will never have another chance in this lifetime. So grit your teeth and hold on. Chen Lan spoke again. Hearing Chen Lan's words, everyone gritted their teeth. Everyone gritted their teeth. Everyone gritted their teeth. Enduring the pain. 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 Even if drenched in sweat, 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 the groaning subsided significantly. Chen Lan nodded in satisfaction. Since I have taken on the role of instructor, I won't let them wake up too early. 5 full minutes passed before the wailing finally stopped, and what followed was not pain, but pure comfort. It felt like a long, exhausting day, followed by the relief of finally lying in bed at night. I do not feel any pain now. I feel so refreshed. Me too. I have had this injury for years from work. My hand has always been in pain. It hurt whenever I moved it, but now it is gone. This feels so good. I feel like I am ascending to heaven. Am I becoming an immortal? My legs do not feel heavy anymore. My back does not hurt either. It is a miracle. A real miracle. The most dramatic changes were in the elderly. After the marrow cleansing, all their chronic illnesses were gone, and their appearance had changed drastically. Their white hair was gone. Their wrinkles had faded significantly. They looked at least 30 years younger. They could not stop grinning. Haha, I have reached the foundation establishment stage. At this moment, Luo Dao burst into laughter. It turned out, he had just absorbed the spiritual energy provided by Chen Lan. He had skipped right past the qi refining stage, and broken through directly to the foundation establishment stage. Hearing this, everyone looked at him with envy. Hearing this, everyone looked at him with envy. Hearing this, everyone looked at him with envy. They all stepped forward to congratulate him. They knew Luo Dao was only at the qi refining stage, but thanks to Chen Lan today, he had advanced to the foundation establishment stage. Seeing that Chen Lan could help someone break through to the foundation establishment stage, their awe and respect for him deepened even further. Thump. A middle-aged man suddenly knelt before Chen Lan. Thank you, teacher, for giving me a new life. This marrow cleansing technique is truly miraculous. It allows ordinary people like them to achieve physical perfection. Such a miracle. Since Chen Lan is so generous in sharing it with them, he must have put a lot of thought into this. For such a great favor, how could they ever repay him? This is a debt of gratitude as vast as the heavens. Seeing the middle-aged man kneel down, the others followed suit one after another. They were all thanking Chen Lan for his life-changing gift. Even Luo Dao felt like kowtowing to Chen Lan. Chen Lan saw this, and was left speechless. He waved his hand, and a gentle force lifted everyone up. There is no need for this, everyone. Since I have agreed to be your teacher, I will take responsibility for you. As long as you all pay attention in class, I guarantee that every one of you will become a cultivator. Hearing this, the crowd bowed again in gratitude. Some were even moved to tears. Luo Dao, from now on, you are the class monitor. You show them how to channel qi into their bodies. Chen Lan said calmly. Chen Lan said calmly. Although there are no restrictions on techniques or manuals, every cultivator has a set of cultivation mantras in their mind. You can use them to channel chi, practice day and night, and improve your cultivation level. I am too lazy to teach such basic things. I will leave it to Luo Dao. Sure thing, Luo Dao stepped forward with a grin. He then began to recite the mantras to the crowd. Everyone listened very intently, terrified of missing a single word. Chen Lan walked to a cool shaded spot and sat down, waiting for the arrival of the Dharma treasures. Time flew by, like an arrow in flight. The people on the field were still sitting in meditation, channeling chi into their bodies. Suddenly, the sky changed again. Dark clouds gathered, and thunder rumbled. Everyone looked up at the same time. People across the country stopped what they were doing and gazed at the sky. They all knew what was about to happen. The Dharma treasures were coming. The arrival of the Dharma treasures. 10 minutes later, the golden ranking of Dharma treasures descended. It will announce the top 100 players' cultivation levels. The treasures obtained from the ranking are not included. An hour later, 100,000 body refining stage demonic beasts have descended nationwide. Locations are random. 3 booming voices echoed, leaving the entire nation in shock, especially that last part. The demonic beasts are coming so soon, and 100,000 of them. Holy crap, this is way too fast. We have not even started cultivating yet, and 100,000 of them just appeared, and they are dropping in random locations. What are we supposed to do? We are doomed. We are totally doomed. I am terrified. Someone save me. Relax. We have over 300 million cultivators. Are you really afraid of 100,000 demonic beasts? It is 100,000 now, but later it will be 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, 1 million, or even 10 million. And that is not all. Eventually, there might even be golden core stage beasts. The cultivation levels will only keep rising. The entire nation is in a state of panic. The demonic beasts appeared too suddenly. Ordinary people had no time to mount a defense. Now all hope must be placed on the Department of Cultivator Management. And just then, the SIIR. And just then, thousands of golden rays descended from the sky, piercing through the heavens like sharp blades, piercing through the heavens like sharp blades, piercing through the heavens like sharp blades, descending upon the mortal realm. In an instant, a golden light enveloped the courtyard. Everyone on the field saw it clearly. Expressions of shock appeared on their faces. Don't worry. That is a Dharma treasure. Chen Lan is at the nascent soul stage, after all. He must have some Dharma treasures. Luo Dao said with a smile, a hint of envy in his eyes. He really wanted a Dharma treasure too. Unfortunately, he was only at the body refining stage. Before long, the golden light faded. In its place, on Chen Lan's ring finger, appeared an ancient-looking ring. The ring was stunning, crafted from red wood, rimmed with gold, and engraved with dragons and phoenixes in the center. It looked incredibly lifelike, as if at any second, they might fly right out of the ring. Chen Lan gently rubbed the ring with his thumb, a slight smirk on his lips. Don't let its appearance fool you. It is just a ring, but it contains a world within. This is actually a storage ring. It has enough space to hold the entire Lan Xin. Chen Lan probed inside with his divine sense. Dharma treasures were piled up like mountains inside. Little mountains, one after another. There are tens of thousands of types of Dharma treasures in the game, all obtained from killing monsters or through microtransactions. All the treasures collected over the past 10 years are here. He knew exactly how to use every single one of them. Soon, he spotted 2 items hovering below. A pile of treasures radiated a faint golden glow. One was blood red. A small, exquisite and delicate sword. It was the blood-slaying sword, a reward for reaching the top of the cultivation rankings. A supreme treasure of the heavenly Tao. The other was a vivid landscape scroll. What surprised Chen Lan was, the mountains and rivers inside were moving. The trees were swaying in the wind, and fish were splashing in the river. Pedestrians on the road were chatting. It was as if this was not just a painting, but an entire living event. Seeing these 2 treasures, Chen Lan knew exactly how to use them. The blood-slaying sword, a unique Dharma treasure. It can absorb blood to grow stronger. When killing enemies, it automatically absorbs their blood, thereby boosting the master's power. Anyone touched by this sword, even without a wound, would instantly have their blood drained dry, leading to their demise. If the master is injured, the blood within it will feed back to the master, instantly healing the wounds, even if he were down to his last breath. As long as there was enough blood stored inside, it could restore Chen Lan to his peak state. It can store an infinite amount of blood. He does not have to worry about not having enough stored. He only worries that you are not killing enough. However, Chen Lan was indifferent to this, because he did not seem to need this treasure. A single thought is enough to wipe out my enemies. He turned his gaze back to the scroll of mountains and rivers. This Dharma treasure is essentially a miniature world. It can store anything, even living beings. Everything can be taken inside. Anyone who enters is trapped within. There is no escape. They are at Chen Lan's mercy. Inside the scroll of mountains and rivers, Chen Lan is the creator and master. I am little Qian. I am little he. Suddenly, two voices echoed from the ring's space, taking Chen Lan by surprise. This Dharma treasure can actually talk. Sentient spirits. So that is how it is. After hearing the explanation from the two treasures, Chen Lan finally understood. The treasures have developed self-awareness. Once they possess intelligence, they can speak. They are called treasure spirits. Now both of these treasures have spirits. Their mental age is around 7 or 8. They will grow slowly over time. Just like two children. Master, we can fight the world by your side. We will protect your path of slaughter at all times. The blood sword vibrated, shouting like an excited child. Chen Lan chuckled. Does he really need treasures to protect him? All right, fine. Chen Lan smiled. If the kids want to protect their old man, I can't exactly dampen their spirits, can I? You two, get into my dantian first. With that, Chen Lan took out the two treasures and placed them into his dantian. The spiritual energy in his dantian can nourish them, helping them grow strong. These two treasures just birth their spirits, but their power is already at the Mahayana stage. Even if Chen Lan does not use them himself, they can still unleash the full force of a Mahayana cultivator. This is the new knowledge he gained after the treasures evolve. Some treasures, once nourished by spiritual energy, can even evolve into higher-grade artifacts. Wow, this feels so good. Master, your spiritual energy is so immense. I am stuffed already. Yeah, so much energy. It is way more than before. The two treasures were frolicking in the sea of energy within his dantian. Extremely excited, watching the treasures, radiating a faint 7-colored glow. Chen Lan knew they were absorbing the energy. Chen Lan smiled, saying nothing. He put away the divine stone and looked at the students. Luo Dao, come here. Chen Lan sent a telepathic message. Luo Dao, who was still calling the students, suddenly heard Chen Lan's voice and hurried over to him. What is up? Chen Lan did not speak, but with a wave of his hand, he dropped over 20 Dharma treasures. All of them were top tier, from defensive artifacts to offensive ones. And life-saving treasures. He had everything. He had even better ones, but there was no need to give them away, because if such precious items were spotted by some greedy cultivators, the consequences would be dire. After all, Luo Dao's family are just ordinary people. They do not have the power to protect such high-level treasures. These lower-level ones are more than enough. Take these treasures, and keep them. Bring them back for your parents and Lan to use. Looking at the various magical artifacts scattered on the ground, Luo Dao's eyes lit up. He gulped. Holy crap, where did you get all these artifacts? Are you really giving them to me? He felt a bit overwhelmed. Just a second ago, he was envying Chen Lan's collection. And now Chen Lan was just handing them over. And he gave him over 20 items at once. He even included some for his family. This touched him deeply. Yeah, just take them. I have got plenty, Chen Lan said with a faint smile. Inside his ring, there were mountains of magical artifacts. He figured he would not be able to use them all in this lifetime. Might as well give a few to Luo Dao and his family. Chen Lan, I do not even know how to thank you. Luo Dao hung his head, his voice choking with emotion. Not only did Chen Lan save his family a few days ago, but now he was gifting him so many artifacts. As his brother, he had nothing to repay him with. He felt truly ashamed. You are not going to cry, are you? Don't get too emotional. I am just giving you your wages to cover your hospitality expenses. Take the loot and get out of here. Be a good host. Chen Lan paused for a moment, then jokingly added, make sure you finish the task. The boss ordered me to do a perfect job. Luo Dao wiped away his tears and gave a sharp salute. Get lost, get lost, get lost. Chen Lan laughed. Luo Dao waved his hand, storing all the artifacts on the ground into his dantian, and ran back to class. Just then, Chen Lan sensed something. He looked up at the sky. The dark clouds had not dispersed yet, but suddenly a rift opened up. A beam of golden light shot down. The golden ranking of artifacts has been activated. The 100th place was announced amidst a thunderous primordial sound. A scroll descended from the heavens, slowly unfurling. But now, the people of the nation had no heart to look at the rankings, because the demonic beasts were coming. Report. According to our investigation, the unknown territories that appeared a few days ago are now filled with infinite spiritual energy. It is even purer than anywhere else on Blue Star. A female soldier approached Li Long. Report as it is. When we learned a few days ago that the beasts were about to emerge, Li Long had already sent people to investigate. The main focus of the investigation was those unknown territories that appeared within Huasha. They were created after the expansion of the spiritual core. They are desolate and uninhabited, yet they have forests and rivers. It is a complete ecosystem. The area is vast, as large as 2 cities combined, and just now we unexpectedly discovered that those unknown territories have produced a massive amount of spiritual energy, and it is extremely pure. This phenomenon is enough to prove that the demonic beasts are highly likely to appear in those places. The most terrifying part is, those unknown territories are not far from certain cities, some even splitting cities apart. If they are caught in the middle, and a large number of demonic beasts appear, then the civilians will definitely suffer. Immediately arrange for troops to guard every unknown territory. If nothing goes wrong, 100,000 demonic beasts will appear there. Li Long issued the order. The female soldier heard the order and immediately complied. Li Long looked up at the golden ranking of Dharma treasures in the sky and let out a heavy sigh. He only hoped that these demonic beasts would stick to appearing in the uncharted wilderness and stay far away from the cities. Otherwise, with 100,000 beasts spawning randomly in front of civilians, it would be a total catastrophe. Although we have over 300 million cultivators, only a few hundred are truly powerful, and they might not arrive in time. Casualties are inevitable. Everyone, stay indoors. Stay where you are. Find a room and hide. Do not step outside, no matter what. Patrol vehicles are broadcasting warnings to every household, telling them to lock their doors and windows, and keep themselves hidden. Under no circumstances should you go out. 10 minutes until the beast tide hits. All cultivators who joined the Cultivator Management Department are already patrolling the streets. Split into groups of 2 or 3. Once you encounter a beast, eliminate it immediately. These beasts are only at the body refining stage, so they should be easy to handle. But do not let your guard down, because this is your first real fight, your first time battling such surreal monsters. Stay sharp. The entire nation is on high alert. Defense levels are at maximum capacity. We are just waiting for the beasts to cross the line. As the beast tide was about to descend, Chen Lan's class was suspended. He returned to his dormitory due to the university's conversion into a cultivation academy. He and Luo Dao had moved into a new dorm. Luo Dao had rushed home 10 minutes ago because he wanted to protect his family. Chen Lan looked up at the pitch-black sky, his eyes solemn. Time ticked away. Chen Lan suddenly spoke up. Thunder rumbled with flashes of lightning. The sound of thunder rolled across the horizon. The voice of the great Tao echoed once more. Demonic beast descent. 100,000 beasts descending at random. The thunderous roar accompanied the voice of the great Tao, striking fear into the hearts of the entire nation. The beasts are here. In an instant, 100,000 golden pillars of light descended from the sky. These pillars appeared without any pattern, striking down at random. Some landed in the uncharted wilderness, and some even landed in the ocean. Terrifying and oppressive roars erupted from within the light. The next second, the light vanished. Ugly, ferocious, and vicious. Monstrous creatures with massive bodies appeared. Dozens of them landed right in the center of Qin City. A patrol squad was nearby, looking at the 5 or 6 meter tall beasts, towering like buildings. The squad members were stunned. The squad members were completely stunned. The squad members were completely stunned. What a massive beast. Something's not right. The aura it is emitting is at the peak of body refining. It is not just a basic body refining stage. It is at the peak. But whatever, let us just take it down. A Foundation establishment cultivator gritted his teeth and charged forward. A small sword hovered beside him. That was a beginner's Dharma treasure for Foundation establishment. Protective sword. Seeing this, the others rushed forward, but they were only at the body refining stage. The team leader is at the Foundation establishment stage, you know. The beast saw the Foundation establishment cultivator charging over. The beast saw the Foundation establishment cultivator charging over. It let out a roar. It showed no fear at all. It showed no fear at all. It let out a deafening roar. A deafening roar. A deafening roar. A deafening roar. It licked its lips. Licked its lips. Licked its lips. Licked its lips. It licked its lips. Humans, I am so hungry. It can actually speak human language. The group was shocked. The beast hit the ground with all 4 limbs and charged forward fiercely. With one hand, it grabbed the Foundation establishment cultivator, squeezed him tight. The man cried out in agony. They are all just greenhorn cultivators. What combat experience do they have? Forget about killing beasts. Even when fighting other cultivators, they have never seen anything like this, especially against a beast at the peak of body refining. Their strength is even greater than a cultivator's, far beyond those of the same rank. Get lost, you cultivators. The Foundation establishment cultivator shouted, summoning his magical artifact. With one slash, he instantly severed the beast's arm, causing it to howl in pain. Go up and finish it. Seeing this, the other body refining cultivators rushed in immediately, but they were no match for the beast. Even with one arm missing, the beast roared again and struck with a punch, hitting one of them, instantly leaving him severely injured. Unconscious. Don't move, let me kill it. The man recovered. Shouting in fury, he condensed his spiritual energy into a sword and charged into the fray. Finally, despite being heavily wounded, he managed to slay it, but he was completely exhausted himself. This is tough. That beast was way too strong. It is definitely not just a regular body-refining creature. The Foundation establishment cultivator slumped to the ground, gasping for air. Just then, two more beast roars echoed around them, making his heart sink. More. Standing on the dorm balcony, Chen Lan observed with his divine sense. Beasts have appeared all over the country. Most of them have manifested inside the cities. The cultivator management department has mobilized, but there are too few of them. The beasts are spread too thin. It is hard for them to provide support in time. 100,000 beasts, all at the peak of body refining. Truly terrifying. Their power rivals Foundation establishment. Even for those of the same rank, they are hard to kill. Might as well test the true power of these magical artifacts. Chen Lin curled his lips into a smile. With a single thought, two magical artifacts instantly appeared before him. A small sword and a scroll. As soon as the two artifacts appeared, they spoke in unison. Go out and have some fun. Kill any demonic beast you come across. Chen Lin smiled. Finally, we get to go out and play. I have been cooped up in here for way too long. I am going stir crazy. Upon hearing they could finally go out, the two artifacts were overjoyed. Let us have a competition. Let us see who can kill more beasts. Sounds great, game on. The two artifacts instantly turned into a red and a blue streak of light, vanishing into the horizon. Daddy. Chen Lan gave a helpless smile. Chen Lan gave a helpless smile. Chen Lan gave a helpless smile. He continued to expand his divine sense, observing the situation across the land. Help someone please save me, Mom. In an apartment building in Chengdu, the windows were already shattered. A ferocious-looking demonic beast had appeared in a civilian's home. Inside the room, a girl in her 20s was terrified, sobbing uncontrollably, crying for help, desperately begging for someone to save her. As the beast licked its chops and lunged toward her, suddenly, she seemed to hear a strange sound, like the ringing of a sword. A flash of red light streaked past. Thud. The beast's head was cleanly severed, rolling right beside her. The most bizarre part was that the beast's once sturdy body instantly shriveled up, becoming nothing more than a hollow husk. Staring at the head, which was larger than a basketball, the girl forgot her fear, forgot her crying. She was completely stunned. What on earth just happened? But suddenly, a childlike voice echoed in the room, making her tremble. Bye-bye, sister. I have taken care of it for you. This strange scene left her terrified. Could it be that besides demonic beasts, there are ghosts too? A red and a blue streak of light darted across Chengdu City, leaving nothing in their wake. Wherever they passed, the demonic beasts would suddenly shrivel up and die, or be sucked dry by some mysterious force, vanishing into thin air. This strange phenomenon left the cultivators who were watching the beasts and preparing to strike completely dumbfounded. What is going on? How is it already over before we even made a move? Captain, there were at least 1,000 beasts here. You could have wiped them all out with one strike. In an unknown territory, Yan Yu led her team to the location. Her subordinate reported, "All right, I will step in and finish them off." Yan Yu nodded. With her great completion, cultivation, wiping out 1,000 Foundation establishment beasts was child's play. But before she could even launch her attack, SIGPIFIA, but before she could even launch her attack, MANGIRTRA, but before she could even launch her attack, he suddenly sensed a terrifying aura emanating from behind him, and it was closing in fast. This aura, it was even more horrifying than anything he would encountered in Li Town, far beyond the tribulation transcendence stage. Enemy, Yan Yu shouted. She quickly turned around, only to see a streak of red light approaching rapidly. Even she could not make out what it was. It was incredibly fast. In an instant it brushed past them, charging into the unknown territory. Wow, so many spirit beasts. I have won. A child's voice echoed from within, leaving Yan Yu and the others stunned. Could there be a child inside? But soon, they saw the true form of that mysterious object. It was actually a small red sword. Wherever it passed, those spirit beasts were instantly drained, turning into mere husks, stripped of all their life force. In less than 10 seconds, thousands of spirit beasts beasts were wiped out in a flash, reduced to bloodless, empty shells, lying silently on the ground. Dead silence. So powerful. All those spirit beasts, wiped out in an instant. Is that a Dharma treasure? It must be. Does this treasure have an owner, or is it masterless? There does not seem to be anyone nearby. This might be a masterless treasure that appeared after the relic emerged. I could claim it for myself. The group suddenly had a thought. In novels, masterless treasures are everywhere, and a treasure that can talk like this is usually incredibly powerful. If I could get my hands on it, I would be set for life. I have to take that treasure. If I do not, I will regret it forever. Suddenly, a man at the golden core stage rushed forward, reaching out to grab the little sword. His eyes were filled with intense greed. In the end, greed overcame his reason. The little sword noticed the man's move, feeling somewhat indignant. It scoffed, "You think you are worthy. Apart from my master, no one is worthy. To think someone actually wants to capture me. Delusional." The little sword let out a cold snort, transforming into a streak of light and charging forward. Seeing this, Yan Yu sensed something was wrong, and hurriedly shouted, but it was too late. The man who wanted to take the little sword was instantly drained into a husk. He collapsed with a thud, watching their former companion turn into a dried-up husk on the ground. Everyone was shocked. They lost their color, their hearts filled with immense rage. "Li Dong, you bastard!" A Foundation establishment student, perhaps blinded by rage, actually wanted to charge forward again, but fortunately, he was forcibly stopped by Yan Yu. Otherwise, he would have ended up just like that man, turned into a shriveled husk. "I am sorry for the trouble just now." Yan Yu apologized with a bow. He just heard the treasure say it had a master, and the pressure it unleashed matched his own. That is enough to prove this is a treasure of the great perfection stage, and a magical artifact that birthed its own spirit. An artifact of that caliber. Its master is definitely someone we cannot afford to provoke. Apologizing right now is the safest bet. Why should we apologize? Without a word, it killed one of our own from the Cultivator Management Department. Do they really think we are that easy to push around? We have a great Luo Golden Immortal on our side. After all, the young man being lectured was clearly unconvinced. His brother just died. They joined the Cultivator Management Department just to enjoy the perks and the power. Now that his brother has been killed, the vice director is actually talking about an apology. If word of this gets out, would not it be a total disgrace to the Cultivator Management Department? Exactly. If others find out we apologized after one of our own was killed, how embarrassing would that be? Even if this artifact is formidable, it is no big deal for our department. We have got a great Luo Golden Immortal backing us. Remember, as long as it is not one of the top 5, we have nothing to fear. This artifact is just killing innocent people indiscriminately. Its master is likely cut from the same cloth. One by one, they all remain defiant. Our own people were killed, and we still have to apologize to the enemy. What kind of pathetic State Department is this? Before Yan Yu could say anything, the sky suddenly flashed with lightning and thunder. A deafening boom echoed. A primordial voice resonated deep within their minds. Great Luo Golden Immortal. The voice carried an overwhelming sense of pressure. Except for Yan Yu, everyone else instantly collapsed to their knees. They could not even lift their heads. Snap, snap, snap. Only the sound of bones cracking could be heard. The men kneeling let out agonizing screams. The bones in their knees and arms were shattered by the sheer pressure. If this continues, they are going to die. Only Yan Yu recognized that voice. Isn't that Xiao Yao Tianzun? If you have any grievances, feel free to come find me, the primordial voice declared, followed by a cold snort. Then Yan Yu heard the men kneeling. As if a series of snapping sounds came from their abdomens. Soon, the pressure vanished into thin air. The small sword disappeared as well. Those men collapsed onto the ground one by one, wailing in agony. My dantian is shattered, and my limbs too. My meridians and roots are all destroyed. I am a cripple from now on. I do not want to live anymore. I am a useless cripple. How could he be so tyrannical? We only said one thing, and he crippled our cultivation. Why are our limbs all destroyed? Our dantians are ruined. From this day on, we are nothing but cripples. This kind of pain is worse than death, because they have experienced it before. The feeling of becoming a cultivator, possessing extraordinary power. How could they ever want to go back to being ordinary people? And now, not only have they become ordinary people, they are also cripples. They would rather die than live as cripples. One can only say that this move by Xiao Yao Tianzun was incomparably ruthless, even more cruel than killing them outright. What kind of trash is this Xiao Yao Tianzun? Just because of one sentence, he crippled our cultivation. Isn't he just a total moron playing a game? If the game was not restricted, he would not be acting so cocky. A man shouted in defiance, cursing loudly. Just as he finished speaking, a bolt of lightning suddenly struck from the sky, obliterating his soul completely, leaving not even ashes behind. The others turned pale with terror instantly, shutting their mouths, not daring to say another word. Then, a primordial voice echoed through the sky again. But Yan Yu could tell, this was not Xiao Yao Tianzun's voice, but the true heavenly Tao speaking, because the tone was cold and heartless. It declared that the great emperor brooks no insult. Looking at the people she brought, some were crippled, some were dead. Yan Yu felt utterly helpless, but there was nothing she could do. Who told them to offend Xiao Yao Tianzun? Offending the supreme great emperor, let alone a great Luo immortal. Even if everyone on the golden ranking came, they would not be worth a single finger of his. They deserved to die. Yan Yu felt it was a pity, not being able to have a word with Xiao Yao Tianzun, and she did not even know if he still remembered her. Qin University dormitory. Chen Lan put away the divine stone, looked up at the sky, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Not bad work. You flatter me, great emperor. I was just helping you punish those ants. That is all. It is nothing worth mentioning. A voice echoed in Chen Lan's mind, the same one that had just struck down the man. But it was much calmer than before. So this is the heavenly Tao. Actually, back on the day his cultivation reached the peak, Chen Lan had already sensed a unique aura in the sky. It is just that its cultivation was far inferior to his immortal emperor realm. The other party also knew of his existence, but they had never spoken before. He had not sought it out either. This was their first conversation. Neither side had tested the other. This was the first time the heavenly Tao had taken the initiative. All right, you took the risk of exposing yourself to act. I assume you need something from me, right? What is it? Chen Lan asked calmly. The great emperor is truly omniscient. I won't beat around the bush with you. Although I am the heavenly Tao, I am merely a remnant of the past, and my power is waning day by day. I am already old. I can foresee that one day in the future, this planet will face an unprecedented crisis. That is why I am begging for the great emperor's protection. If one day, this planet truly faces a catastrophe, please I ask you to step in and save it. In this entire universe, it would be hard to find another as powerful as Chen Lan. If he could promise to intervene in a crisis, then it would have nothing to worry about. But Chen Lan remained calm and nodded in agreement. Thank you, great emperor. I shall take my leave now. After saying that, the heavenly Tao departed and stopped spying on Chen Lan, because Chen Lan could sense the surveillance at any time, no matter who it was. He could perceive it. I wonder if Xiao Jian and Xiao He have finished their task yet. Time to go grab a bite. Chen Lan stretched lazily, stepping out of the dorm. At her level of cultivation, eating is no longer a necessity. She will never go hungry. But who can really resist the temptation of good food? Gotta eat and drink when you can. A bowl of roast duck rice, paired with an ice-cold soda. Doesn't that just hit the spot? Half an hour later, reporting to the Longdu Cultivation Management Headquarters. 1 hour. All 100,000 demonic beasts have been wiped out. The female officer approaches Li Long to report. Not bad, very good. You all did a fantastic job. Much faster than I anticipated. Li Long nods in satisfaction, offering praise. However, it was not our people who did the killing. The female officer hesitates for a few seconds. Reporting the truth, it was not our people. Then who was at the top 5 on the leaderboard? Li Long is stunned. Right now, the entire leaderboard, except for the top 5. We have already identified everyone else. Those 5 are the only ones we have not recruited yet. Aside from them, he can't think of anyone else who could have done it. But we do not know which Dharma treasure was used. Li Long is even more confused. He is starting to lose track of what is going on. The female officer picks up a tablet from the side. She pulls up a video and hands it to Li Long. This was captured by our satellite 20 minutes ago. Li Long takes the tablet, frowning as he watches the footage intently. A terrifying demonic beast is roaring at the civilians. But the very next second, a streak of red light flashes by. The beast instantly turns into a skeleton, stripped of all flesh and blood. It lies silently on the ground. In a split second, he could not even see clearly. What kind of thing could kill that beast in an instant? The next part is footage from the skies over Chengdu City. One red and one blue streak of light, moving at speeds beyond the speed of light, darting rapidly across the Chengdu skyline. It is impossible to capture their true form. Only blurs are visible. What is this? Li Long exclaims in shock. The speed is insane. If anyone were to cross paths with something like this, they would be killed instantly. They would not even know how they died. These are Dharma treasures. This is the footage slowed down 150 times. The female officer plays a second video for Li Long. The equipment can only slow it down 150 times. That is the absolute limit. Li Long watches the second video. Still in shock. Still in shock. still in shock, still in shock, still in shock, 150 times slower. And it is still just a blurry mess. What kind of speed is this? He pauses the video, zooming in to take a look. Vaguely one can make out. The red one is a sword, and the blue one is a painting. Whose Dharma treasures are these? Do we still not know who these belong to? Li Long looks up and asks the female officer. I only know about these two artifacts. They swept across the entire Huasha region at incredible speed. In just half an hour, they went on a wild monster slaying spree. They wiped out at least 70,000 monsters. They wiped out at least 70,000 monsters. They wiped out at least 70,000 monsters. It significantly accelerated our mission completion time. It significantly accelerated our mission completion time. Brainstorming session. Hearing this number, Li Long's eyes widen slightly, showing his shock. Whose artifacts are these anyway? To possess such overwhelming power. A sword and a painting. Suddenly, something clicked for Li Long. He realized who it was. Just then, another soldier walked over, reporting, the Chengdu branch has an urgent update. They have requested a video briefing. Granted, Li Long said calmly. He turned to look at a large blank screen. The soldier nodded and immediately began the operation. In a moment, the screen flickered to life. Connection established. The very second the feed connected, Li Jian appeared on screen. Seeing Li Long, Li Jian immediately saluted respectfully. Li Long had no cultivation base, but he was in charge of the cultivators. As the military commander of the management department, he was responsible for all strategic planning. All in all, he was the highest authority in the entire department, which is why everyone called him Master Li. Well, what is it? Li Long asked calmly, reporting on the monster situation. The threat has been neutralized, but it had little to do with us. It was all thanks to those two artifacts. Yes, I am already aware of that. Tell me something I do not know. We have already identified the owner of the artifacts. It is none other than the top-ranked Xiao Yao Tianzun. Xiao Yao Tianzun. Xiao Yao Tianzun. Xiao Yao Tianzun. Li Jian expected Li Long to be surprised, but to his shock he just laughed out loud. Haha. I knew it was Xiao Yao Tianzun. I still remember the rewards he gave out, a sword and a landscape painting. Now that I think about it, he truly is a patriot of Huasha, and a man of good character. Knowing that Xiao Yao Tianzun was helping Huasha from the shadows, Li Long let out a sigh of relief. At least we know he is not a bad guy. But he crippled 4 of our men, and even killed 1. AFES. AF. Li Jian's expression turned grim. 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 He hesitated for a few seconds. He hesitated for a few seconds, reporting the truth. As soon as those words were spoken, Li Jian's smile froze instantly. The 2 people beside him were equally stunned. Xiao Yao Tianzun killed someone, and he killed one of our own from the management department. What is going on? Li Long scoffed coldly. He did not believe Xiao Yao Tianzun would just kill someone. That is a supreme emperor we are talking about. Why would he kill without any reason? Even if he did kill, it was only those who deserved it. HMPH. Trying to snatch a Supreme Emperor's artifact, and then insulting him. Getting crippled is getting off easy. That was already Xiao Yao Tianzun showing mercy. After hearing the full story, Li Long shook his head with a cold sneer. A mere golden core cultivator, trying to rob a Supreme Emperor. If that is not a death wish, I do not know what is. A few Foundation establishment scrubs, daring to slander and insult a Supreme Emperor. If that is not a death wish, I do not know what is. Xiao Yao Tianzun did not kill them on the spot. Xiao Yao Tianzun did not kill them on the spot. Xiao Yao Tianzun did not kill them on the spot. It was only because they are all fellow countrymen of Huasha that he showed any restraint at all. Those few have already been kicked out of the department, reduced to nothing. It is a massive blow to them. Li Jian said helplessly. Just the thought of it makes me shudder. To be a cripple for the rest of your life. Might as well be dead. Living like that is just pure torture, especially in this era. The age of universal cultivation. What Xiao Yao Tianzun did was too ruthless. No need to worry about them. They got what they deserve, Li Long said coldly. Provoking a Supreme Emperor is like inviting divine retribution. They brought this upon themselves. Suddenly, the door to Li Jian's office was kicked open. It was Yan Yu who walked in. Seeing her barge in so rudely, Li Jian's expression darkened instantly. Can't you see I am in a meeting? Just as he was about to scold her, he heard what Yan Yu had to say, and his face changed instantly. Director, those guys who were kicked out are causing trouble again. They are live streaming online, publicly condemning Xiao Yao Tianzun. There are over 100,000 people watching right now. Li Long, who heard this through the screen, was shocked beyond words. What? shut down their stream immediately. Are they trying to get themselves killed? I have never seen anyone so eager to die. To actually live stream and condemn a supreme emperor. That is a death wish, plain and simple. If you want to die, do not drag us down with you. What if you provoke Xiao Yao Tianzun? If he gets angry, he could destroy the whole world. What are we supposed to do then? Li Zhen nodded and looked at Yan Yu. Which stream are they on? Ban them immediately. Boom, just as he finished speaking. A thunderous roar echoed through the sky, deafeningly loud. It seems I have been too benevolent. The voice was cold and heartless, but Yan Yu could recognize it. That is Xiao Yao Tianzun himself speaking. That is Xiao Yao Tianzun himself speaking. That is Xiao Yao Tianzun himself speaking. He is no heavenly Tao emperor. He is just an angry self-proclaimed Xiao Yao Tianzun. He is just a basement dweller who got some supernatural powers. If it were not for the game becoming reality, he would be a nobody in the real world too. Exactly, who would play a crappy game for that long? Exactly, who would play a crappy game for that long? Exactly, who would play a crappy game for that long? Exactly, who would play a crappy game for that long? Exactly, who would play a crappy game for that long? Besides him, who else? He just crippled us without saying a word. How are we supposed to live now? The few of them were in the live stream room, describing what happened today. Not a single word about them stealing the artifacts. They only talk about the cruelty and brutality of Xiao Yao Tianzun. How he kills without saying a word. The live stream has reached hundreds of thousands of viewers. Most of them are just ordinary people. No way is this for real. Would Xiao Yao Tianzun really cripple you all for no reason? Exactly. Your cultivation levels are probably just foundation establishment or golden core, right? How could he possibly cripple you? Feels like you guys are just doing this for clout. Impossible to be for clout. And you should not say that either. That is a great emperor we are talking about. Don't they know how terrifying a great emperor is? Insulting a great emperor is a death sentence. Yeah, I think it is real too. Otherwise, they would not be gambling with their own lives. This is just too terrifying, is not it? An uncontrollable, horrifying existence has been on Blue Star all this time. It is too scary. Watching the live stream, hundreds of thousands of people are rooting for them. Those few cripples sneered inwardly. The reason they started the live stream was just to seek justice for themselves. Just because Xiao Yao Tianzun has high cultivation, does that mean he can do whatever he wants? What kind of peace can there be in this world? Just let him rule over everything alone then. A person like this, the whole world should know his true evil nature. Rumble, lightning suddenly flashed across the sky. Thunder roared loudly. Even the Dharma Treasure Golden List that was announcing the rankings came to a halt. It stopped broadcasting. Seeing this scene, the few of them turned pale with fright. A bad feeling washed over them. Looks like I was too merciful. The moment that voice rang out, they broke out in a cold sweat. Xiao Yao Tianzun is here. Could it be? He really dares to kill them in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Is he not afraid that the entire Huasha would turn against him? Back to 1 minute ago. Chen Lin looked at those few people, slumped in their chairs, still live streaming to condemn him. His eyes were icy cold. Before, he spared them because they were all Huasha people, and they did not know it was him. So he did not kill them. He let them live. But now, not only are they ungrateful, they are even live streaming to denounce him. This disappointed him deeply. I was too merciful. If I had just wiped them out back then, there would not be so much trouble now. At this moment, Chen Lan's mindset underwent a slight change. This world has already changed. Human hearts should change too. Does the great emperor need me to take action? The voice of the heavenly Tao echoed in his mind. Chen Lan shook his head. No need, I will do it myself. And that led to the scene just now. Looking at the sky, the few cripples were terrified, but they still believed Xiao Yao Tianzun would definitely not dare to kill them in front of so many people. Sigh. A sigh echoed. One of the cripples instantly exploded. A mist of blood burst out right in front of the livestream. The others were covered in blood and gore. This scene came too suddenly. They did not even have time to react. Even the millions of netizens watching the livestream could not react in time. With a heavy sigh, that person simply exploded. Xiao Yao Tianzun actually dared to kill. He really executed them right in front of the entire nation. Now they were truly terrified. I am sorry, great emperor. I was out of line just now. Please show mercy, great immortal. A man wailed toward the sky, begging for his life. If he were not physically unable to kneel right now, he would have been on the ground groveling long ago. But the moment he finished speaking, he instantly blew apart. Once again, the others were showered in gore. It was far too late for apologies. Those destined to die had no escape. The remaining few were completely paralyzed with fear. Xiao Yao Tianzun was truly enraged. They were all dead men walking. Bang bang. The remaining 3 exploded at the same time. The 5 people who were just recently condemning Chen Lan on the livestream had all met a violent end. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Their souls were utterly extinguished. The scene was a gruesome mess of bone and gore. 1 pool of blood, 5 sets of DNA. Before the viewers could even comment, the livestream was abruptly cut off. But it was already too late. Many people had already recorded everything that had just transpired. It was immediately leaked all over the internet. In an instant, dozens of threads flooded the forums, every single one about Xiao Yao Tianzun. However, most of the comments were supportive. Xiao Yao Tianzun must have had a good reason to kill them. I believe he would not just kill innocent people. Exactly, those people were talking nonsense without any context. They were clearly twisting the truth. It is so fake. I do not believe the immortal venerable would kill randomly. Those guys were just clout chasing, were not they? They got what they deserved. Good riddance. I heard they were from the Cultivator Management Department. Shouldn't the officials come out and explain this? We just dealt with the monsters and now this mess. Don't go provoking Xiao Yao Tianzun. If he gets angry, none of us will survive. Not long after, the government finally issued a response. It was an apology video from Li Zhen of the Chengdu branch. I am deeply sorry for my lack of oversight. It allowed such troublemakers to exist within our department. To those who spread rumors, here is the actual truth of the matter. As Li Zhen explained the entire sequence of events, from beginning to end, the netizens finally saw the light. So it was those bastards all along. They tried to rob Xiao Yao Tianzun's magic treasure, only to be killed by the treasure's own counterattack. They even dared to insult the great emperor. That is why they were dealt with. I knew the immortal venerable would not just go on a rampage. As expected, those people fabricated the whole thing. They just wanted us to turn against the great emperor. Thank God I did not fall for it. Those idiots got exactly what they deserve. Did they really not know that a great emperor is not to be trifled with? Forget a great emperor. If I were a nascent soul expert and some low-level brat insulted me, I would have ended them right then and there. The great emperor was actually being quite merciful. He probably held back because we are all fellow Washa citizens. But instead of being grateful, they actually had the nerve to start a live stream. They truly deserve to die. At the very end of the video, Li Zhen and the entire Chengdu branch bowed in a deep apology. I hope Xiao Yao Tianzun is not angry. Even Li Long personally registered an account, posting a thread hoping Xiao Yao Tianzun is not angry. It was his poor management. Afterward, they released footage of Xiao Jian and Xiao He reaping the demonic beasts across the country. They emphasized that these 2 artifacts belonged to the great emperor. When the public saw the 2 artifacts, they were instantly stunned, because many people had seen these 2 artifacts today. Their appearance had claimed the lives of the demonic beasts, saving them. Who would have thought these were actually the great emperor's artifacts? So the great emperor has been protecting them from the shadows all along. Netizens one by one immediately took to the internet to express their worship for the great emperor. Without even realizing it, Chen Lan had reaped millions of fans. Some even decided to set up spirit tablets for Xiao Yao Tianzun to worship him daily. Chen Lan saw the content online. Angry, he had never been angry. Who gets mad at the behavior of ants? Chen Lan did not care to pay attention, looking up at the sky. At this moment, the artifact golden list was still broadcasting, reaching the 50th rank. Boom, a bolt of purple lightning streaked across the firmament, illuminating the world. The second wave of demonic beasts will arrive in 3 hours. 1 million body-refining demonic beasts and 100,000 foundation establishment demonic beasts are coming. The second wave of beasts will reach Blue Star in 3 hours. The entire nation panicked at this moment. Isn't this too sudden? Another wave already. What are we supposed to do? Still a million body-refining beasts, plus 100,000 foundation establishment ones. That means even after killing them all, more will keep coming. This is just endless slaughter. Everyone, hide well. Don't go out. The apocalypse is truly here. Don't be afraid, we have Xiao Yao Tianzun. He will take action. He killed 1 wave, and the next one is 10 times larger than before. Ordinary people were terrified to the extreme. On the other side, Li Long quickly issued orders to all branches nationwide. Fully secure those unknown territories, as those are the places most likely to spawn demonic beasts. And in every city, arrange at least 1 squad to patrol. The squads must include cultivators at the foundation establishment stage or higher. Otherwise, they won't be able to handle foundation establishment beasts. 3 hours of preparation time. Just enough for 1 wave to settle, and another to rise. Chen Lan muttered to himself. With a casual wave of his hand, the map of mountains and rivers appeared. Master, what do you need? Is there something you need me to do? Go protect Luo Dao's family. Chen Lan gave Xiao He the location, sending Xiao He to protect them. He did not need to do it himself. In an instant, Xiao He transformed into a streak of light, vanishing into the horizon. Master, what about me? Xiao Jian appeared out of thin air, asking anxiously. Seeing Xiao, he had a mission. While he did not, he thought he had been abandoned. Don't worry, beasts will appear shortly. You can go have some fun. Chen Lin smiled. All right, Xiao Jian felt a bit dejected, but very soon, he realized he would have beasts to kill. Energy restored. The beasts are restless, waiting. Chen Lan offered a helpless smile. He gazed into the distance. He still had no intention of intervening. It had not reached a point beyond everyone's control yet. If he were to act, he could wipe out every single beast. In a heartbeat. It would take nothing more than a single thought. But if he did that, no one would ever grow. Only through battle can one truly evolve. He could protect them for a while. But the enemies to come will only grow more numerous and far more powerful. Their own growth is what matters most. Besides, these small fries are not worth his time. Just let a few cultivators at the great completion stage handle it. They will be wiped out in no time. Just then, Chen Lan's gaze snapped toward a certain direction. His eyes narrowed. That was the direction of Haidu City. It was over 5,000 kilometers away from Chengdu. Yet he saw it all with perfect clarity. Several figures in black, wearing masks, sneaking through the sea like ghosts. They were shrouded in a strange, watery barrier, protecting them, allowing them to breathe underwater. Through their masks, Chen Lan recognized them instantly. The Ninja Empire. Due to censorship, I will refer to them as the Ninja Empire and the Superpower Empire from now on. You all should know who they are, right? While everyone is busy dealing with the beasts, these Ninja Empire rats are sneaking onto our shores. What are they up to? In the next second, Chen Lan vanished. The coast of Haidu City finally made it. Crossing tens of thousands of kilometers of ocean, swimming for 3 days and 3 nights to get here. A ninja spoke in his own tongue. The 4 ninjas reached the shore. They scanned their surroundings. Only after confirming no Washa people were around did they breathe a sigh of relief. What kind of game did the Washa people manifest? I saw online that they seem to be able to fly. Why do they get such an overpowered game? We are stuck with shadow clones, or some other trash skills. Can't be helped. Every country's manifested game is different. Ours seems to be the worst. But once we become ascendants, we will be able to manipulate all sorts of elements. Definitely stronger than the Washa people. Enough talk. Let us give the Washa people a little gift. As he spoke, he pulled a large cassette tape from his chest. That is right, one of those ancient tapes. The kind that only plays when inserted into a player. This thing is practically a relic these days. This thing is practically a relic these days. This thing is practically a relic these days. Hardly anyone uses them anymore. Beautiful. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. But the tape the ninjas brought is no ordinary one. It is a tape that can summon Sadako. The Ninja Empire did not manifest a beast. They manifested their own local urban legends, like Sadako, Kuchisaki Onna, and the like. Monsters born from urban legends. They came here this time, just to bring these monsters, for our friends in Washa to have a taste. These things are filled with demonic energy. As long as people are exposed to them for too long, they will become extremely exhausted, and develop an intense urge to touch them. Even if you do not have the habit of watching tapes, or do not even own a VCR. After a while, you will be bewitched, compelled by some ghostly force to go buy a VCR, and play the tape. It is incredibly sinister. The Ninja Empire offered these monsters 2 days before Washa. They had already tested it. Just 1 day of exposure to these monsters is enough to be tainted by demonic energy and bewitched. Playing the tape, seeing Sadako, and inviting death upon oneself. We won't accept these gifts. Foreign objects. Just at that moment, a young voice suddenly rang out above their heads, startling the ninjas out of their wits. They scrambled to push away in different directions, looking up at the sky in panic. There, a figure stood tall in the sky, looking down at them with a faint smile. One of the bald ninjas was terrified. This person just arrived, without making a single sound. It proves that he must be incredibly powerful. Do you Washa people always like to act so mysterious? One ninja roared in anger. With his cultivation at the Supreme Emperor level, his comprehension is off the charts. Just by hearing their language once, he already understood it. Chen Lan was taken aback, looked at himself, then looked at their all-black outfits, where you could not even see their faces. He could not help but chuckle. You say I am acting mysterious. Chen Lan shook his head helplessly. That makes no sense. I am being perfectly open and above board, are not I? I do not understand what you are saying. Take him down, the ninja shouted coldly. He looked at the others, pulled 3 shurikens from his chest, and threw them at Chen Lan. Clang, clang, clang. The moment the shurikens hit Chenlan, they made the sound of metal colliding and fell to the ground. They did not even scratch Chenlan's clothes. Is that all? Chenlan smiled faintly. He did not want to kill these people just yet. He wanted to see what the ninja empire was actually capable of. Seems pretty interesting. I can't handle this alone. All together now, seeing their attack failed, the ninja shouted again. The others agreed in unison. In an instant, they all performed hand seals rapidly. Clones began to emerge from their sides. The 5 of them slowly split into 10. The 5 of them slowly split into 10. The 5 of them slowly split into 10, then split into 15, then split into 15, then split into 15. Finally, they stopped at 20. Chenlan smiled slightly as he looked at the ninjas surrounding him. This technique is not bad, but that is all it is. It is all just for show. The technique looks flashy, but in reality it is full of flaws. Haha, are you scared now, Washa man? In an instant, the 20 figures started running clockwise around Chenlan, getting faster and faster, turning into mere afterimages. Can't keep up, can you, Washa? Scared yet? This is our true power. Die, Washa, the voice echoed. But it was impossible to tell where it came from. Yet to Chenlan, those afterimages moved in slow motion. He could see everything clearly. Who is talking? Which one is the real body? He saw it all perfectly. In a flash, 20 men charged at Chenlan simultaneously. Sharp kunai appeared in their hands, aiming straight for his throat. Chenlan spoke calmly. A trace of pressure erupted. Everyone was sent flying instantly. Those summoned clones vanished into thin air, dissipating in mid-air. 5 ninjas slammed into the ground in agony, spitting out blood, feeling their internal organs burning with pain. So strong. Who exactly are you? One of the ninjas clutched his chest, staring at Chenlan in terror. Did they just arrive in Washa, only to run into a powerhouse? Are we really this unlucky? I am just an ordinary student. Chenlan smiled faintly. We have not lost yet. Damn it. What the hell? Another ninja roared. He sprang up like a carp. His hands moved in a blur of seals. The next second, he spat out flames, straight at Chenlan. The fire engulfed Chenlan, blazing fiercely. Haha. This is a ninjutsu only our Jonin can perform. You are a dead man, Washa. That is right, a mere Washa local. How could he possibly compare to our ninjas? How could he possibly compare to our ninjas? How could he possibly compare to our ninjas? The remaining ninjas stood up, trembling, laughing hysterically. They hit him with their technique. Even if he survives, he will be charred to a crisp. These Washa people are so arrogant, trying to block it with his bare body. He is probably already dead. But the next second, their laughter died out completely, as the Jonin's flames gradually faded. Within the fire, the figure slowly emerged. Chenlan was standing there, without a single burn mark. Even his clothes were perfectly intact, as if he had never been touched by fire. How is this possible? The merchant shouted in shock. This is his proudest fire technique. He has burned monsters to ash with this move, killing many beasts along the way. Why is it useless here? Let me show you what real fire looks like. Chenlan smiled faintly. He slowly raised his right hand. Snap, a crisp sound echoed. The Jonin's entire body instantly burst into purple flames, burning him alive. Ah! The Jonin screamed in agony. You could hear his flesh sizzling. You could even smell the burning scent. The other ninjas were horrified. What kind of jutsu is this? Just a snap of his fingers, and he set someone on fire just like that. Is this the unique magic of the Washa region? He endured the agonizing screams, while rushing toward the seawater, desperate to extinguish the raging flames on his body. But when he plunged into the water, the flames continued to burn, showing no signs of dying out. The seawater itself was even boiling and bubbling from the heat. Witnessing this bizarre and miraculous scene, the remaining ninjas watched in horror. Fear shook them to their core. Their legs turned to jelly, and they were left completely dumbfounded. Now, there was only one thought in their minds. Run. Poof. The ninjas finally snapped out of it, forming hand seals in a blur. Suddenly, a cloud of mist exploded where they stood, and they vanished without a trace. Do you really think you can get away? Chenlan smiled calmly. These ignorant ninjas. He slowly raised his right hand, forming a claw-like shape. In an instant, a figure was yanked from the distance, flying straight into his palm, where he gripped the ninja by the throat. Meanwhile, the other ninjas instantly burst into clouds of blood, dead beyond repair. They did not even know how they died. Spare me, I beg you. The ninja held by Chenlan pleaded for mercy. What were you trying to do to Washa? Chenlan asked. The ninja dared not hide anything, hurriedly spilling their entire plan for Washa. It turned out, they just wanted to make the people of Washa experience the terror of Sadako, to plunge Washa into even greater chaos. And they did not just target Washa with this plan. No other country was spared either. Any nation near the Ninja Empire was on their list. You guys are truly disgusting. Chenlan looked at him with pure disgust. With a casual flick of his hand, the ninja disintegrated in mid-air. His soul scattered into nothingness. He looked at the bag of tapes left on the ground. Interested in the tapes, he waved his hand. The tapes instantly flew into his hand. What is this Sadako really like? He had watched horror movies before, like Ring. So naturally, he knew about this kind of ghost. He never expected that because of the crab game, she would actually manifest in reality. Time to take them back and see. Chenlan kept one tape and burned all the others. The moment he burned the tapes, he could hear a series of shrill, terrifying ghost wails echoing incessantly. A ghostly figure appeared above the flames, looking hideous and terrifying. But the screaming stopped in an instant. The tapes were reduced to nothing but ash. Chenlan vanished from the spot. He arrived at an old shop selling electronic devices. As luck would have it, they had a VCR. Although it was old, it only cost a few $100 to buy. He picked up the VCR and returned to his dorm. He plugged it in and connected the signal. Hooking it up to the TV, he powered it on and inserted the tape, ready to see the true face of Sadako. Ever since he watched those movies as a kid, he had always had an urge to brush aside Sadako's hair and see what she really looked like underneath. Most people probably get that urge, and back then, there were tons of fan-made videos, like lifting up Sadako's hair, only to find a total bombshell underneath. Or maybe she had no face, or was just hideous beyond belief. Either way, Sadako's face was always a total mystery. Even the folks over at the Ninja Empire could not explain it. After all, this thing was just a fictional construct. I bet even the director did not have a clear vision for it. Just grab any actor, slap on a wig, and you are good to go. Cuts cost big time. The tape starts spinning. VCR activated. The image slowly fades in. The picture is super blurry. After a burst of static, that familiar old well appears on screen. Just then, Chenlan senses a strange, eerie, demonic aura spreading around him. The air turns icy cold. The room temperature drops to just a few degrees, like someone cranked up the AC. This is Sadako using her powers to warp the environment, instilling even greater terror, to shatter the human psyche. Chenlan watches the TV with genuine interest. Suddenly, the screen starts flickering with static. The image keeps looping, but as this phenomenon occurs, the old well undergoes a subtle change. A pair of skeletal, pale hands suddenly appear at the edge of the well, and with every flicker, she slowly crawls out. A figure in white, with hair covering her face, slowly climbs out of the well, like some twisted dark creature, crawling toward Chenlan. With each flicker of the screen, her position keeps shifting, until she vanishes. At this moment, Chenlan senses that the surrounding demonic aura has reached a tipping point. This is a form of soul attack, using illusions to assault a person's soul, attacking their spirit, to make them feel fear. Interesting. Chenlan chuckles. This soul attack actually packs quite a punch. It is lethal enough for ordinary people. Even those at the 7th stage of body refining would probably be devastated, because body refining stage 7 does not train the soul. Only once you reach the foundation establishment stage does the divine sense emerge, allowing you to use spiritual energy to cultivate the soul. For instance, I can use my own powerful divine sense to forcibly destroy someone else's soul. It is just like an electric drill, turning their soul into a complete mess. Once the soul is damaged, the whole person loses their sanity. From a metaphysical perspective, mental illness might just be a soul-related issue. The old-timers who know a bit of metaphysics would look at some fool and say they are missing a piece of their soul, like one of their 3 souls and 7 spirits is gone. Some cultivators might have specialized soul refining techniques that allow a body refining stage 7 to kill a foundation establishment stage 7, all because their soul is powerful. That is exactly how Sadako's attack works. If a body refining cultivator or a normal person runs into this, they are likely doomed, but dealing with the real thing is not that easy. A skeletal, pale, terrifying hand reaches out from the TV. It broke through the dimensional barrier, coming from the 2D world into the 3D world. What a mysterious ability. Chenlan admitted he could not do it. This was not a feat achievable through mere cultivation. However, his scroll of mountains and rivers could. The function of the scroll is to pull people into a pocket dimension, and that dimension is essentially a 2D plane, where everything inside is visible from the outside. The ghost was shrieking while crawling its way out. It was soaked to the bone, water dripping steadily, quickly drenching the floor. It crept toward Chenlan step by step. The lights in the dorm began to flicker, creating a truly eerie and terrifying atmosphere. Chenlan sat with his legs crossed, watching the ghost crawl toward him. When the timing was just right, he released a tiny bit of spirit energy, locking his gaze on the ghost. In an instant, the ghost froze. Slowly, its body began to tremble. It seemed terrified. it felt a surge of incomparably powerful and terrifying soul pressure, enough to crush and shatter its very soul. The next second, the ghost scrambled backward, desperate to retreat into the old well inside the TV. But suddenly, it bumped into the TV screen and bounced right back. It panicked, realizing it could not go back. It turned around, frantically pounding on the TV. Its terrified, flustered look was quite amusing. It could not understand why it had just crawled out, only to find itself unable to return. "Stop struggling. I have sealed you in. You are not going anywhere." Chenlan stood up with a faint smile and slowly walked toward the ghost. The ghost looked at Chenlan's wicked grin, feeling absolute terror inside. If only it could speak, it would definitely be screaming for him to stay back. "Don't come any closer." But alas, it could not open its mouth, only able to emit strange guttural cries, trying to scare Chenlan off. Chenlan ignored it completely, stepping right up to it, grabbing it by the hair, and hoisting it up. "Let me have a look," Chenlan said. He yanked the ghost's hair back, curious to see what this thing actually looked like. But when he pulled the hair back, the result was disappointing. It was just a grayish, featureless face, a bizarre and terrifying visage. Feeling a bit let down, he tossed it onto the floor. Perhaps this had something to do with the Ninja Empire's settings. According to their lore, the ghost just does not have a face, always keeping its hair disheveled. "Well, since I have seen enough, it is time for you to die." Just as Chenlan was about to finish it off, the ghost suddenly had a thought. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He looked at the shivering ghost with a wicked smile. "Since the people from the Ninja Empire sent this gift over here, would not it be rude not to return the favor? Let us send them a big gift in return." Chenlan focused his divine sense. A stream of pure spirit energy instantly surged into the ghost's body. In that instant, a blood-curdling shriek echoed through the dorm. Fortunately, Chenlan had already set up a spirit barrier, so no one outside could see or hear what was happening inside. No one could get in. A few seconds later, the Genzi stopped its wailing. It collapsed onto the ground, but it quickly crawled back up. It crawled step by step to Chenlan's feet, pressing its forehead against the floor, speaking in broken and stuttering Huasha language. Chenlan nodded in satisfaction. That burst of spiritual energy just now not only brought Genzi's cultivation to the peak of foundation establishment, but even broke its soul through to the golden core stage. Deep within its soul, it had been branded with his exclusive mark. From this day forward, Genzi will obey his every command. One thought for life, one thought for death. Never to betray for eternity. Now that your strength has increased, have your abilities improved as well? Chenlan asked. "Master, I can now manifest not only through videotapes, but also through mobile phones, computers, and other electronic devices in real time, even across thousands of miles." Genzi replied truthfully. Genzi replied truthfully. Genzi replied truthfully. Genzi replied truthfully. "Not bad. Then you can head back home," Chenlan said with a faint smile. With a casual wave of his hand, Genzi flew back into the TV set. The videotape automatically flew out and landed in Chenlan's hand. "Go and wreak havoc in the Ninja Empire." With another casual wave, the videotape shot out at lightning speed. Flying out the window, it turned into a streak of light, vanishing without a trace. Its destination was none other than the Ninja Empire. This kind of harmful thing is better off returning to where it came from. Consider this a grand gift from Chenlan. 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 Genzi's ability is to utilize its own power. Genzi's ability is to utilize its own power. Killing can strengthen it. Unlike other cultivators, it only grows stronger by killing. I wonder what kind of pleasant surprise the ninjas will show when they see this gift. Chenlan withdrew his spiritual barrier. Continuing to look outside, the golden ranking of Dharma treasures is still broadcasting. I wonder if it will finish broadcasting everything this time, or if it will be like the golden ranking of cultivation, where Qian Shiming insists on waiting until the next day to announce it. There is 1 hour left. The second wave of demonic beasts is coming. The cultivator management department is all prepared. Besides that, Chenlan already knows who the top 10 on the golden ranking are. Chenlan already knows who they are. His divine sense covers the entire globe. Whose realm is what? He sees crystal clear. He knows it all. However, he rarely observes the whole globe. Most of the time he is just watching Huasha. He could not care less about affairs outside the borders. Whether they live or die has nothing to do with him. As time slowly ticked away, night began to fall. Due to the thick dark clouds, the twilight was invisible in the sky. So it turned pitch black very quickly. Boom, countless purple lightning bolts streaked across the horizon. The demonic beasts have appeared. The starting point is randomized.